Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Big League Bourbon. I know a lot of people are still over on the other channels right now, but we can get things kicked off. Tonight we have a special guest, Matt Meyers, who will be coming in just a little bit. He's currently doing some lessons with some youngsters on baseball. He is a former minor league pitcher in the Cleveland and Angels system, and he is the co-founder of Barreled Up, which is a whiskey and bourbon group that is full of minor league baseball players, former minor league baseball players, some current minor league baseball players, and former major league baseball players. And tonight we'll be talking about our first store pick as well as some baseball. So sit back, relax, and let's have some fun tonight, guys. I see we have a couple of you in here already. How's everyone doing? So, one of the bottles we'll be talking about tonight is our first store pick, which we are lucky enough to get with Cat's Eye Distillery, and we selected our own light whiskey. It was pretty awesome. Matt will tell you all about it, and he tried 5 different samples ranging from 130 proof up to 136.8 and made a selection from there. I see Mike Stahl's here. Alex is here from Canada. Hopefully he got away from those Mounties during Ken's 24-hour live stream, and he must have since he's here. I also, Moose Hunter. There you go, Moose Hunter. Sorry about that, Alex. We also have Stahl Cheech is here. So hopefully we get some more people rolling. Oh, Mr. Whiskey Dick is in the house. Hello, hello, hello. So once everybody starts rolling in, we'll get going a little more on that. What's everybody got in their glass tonight? I'm starting out with the little Heaven's Door double barrel, getting that palate ready for when we crack that store pick Obatanium. Got to heat it up a little bit before we get to that 134.8. Mr. Whiskey Shits. How about that guy? And if any of you don't know, Mr. Whiskey Shits is the man. He took in, broke my Patreon, Sherry. If you didn't know, I actually started a Patreon to help with the channel. I have included the link here. Scrolling across the bottom of the stream, every little Patreon donation helps. It will help with adding on to the stream and adding more equipment to the stream to make it a little better every week. So Adam, cheers to you, and thanks for breaking the cherry over on Patreon for us. So looks like Matt's just getting into his house and getting here. We'll give him a couple seconds to get stationed, and then I'll bring him on, and we'll get going tonight. Like I said, he's been off doing lessons, teaching the craft of pitching to some youngsters up in the Minnesota area. So I'll get him rolling here in just a second for everyone. Until then, hey, Jim Morris, I'll have another drink and get ready to roll. And there we go. Okay, everyone. Well, I'm going to bring Matt on in here, and we're going to get ready to talk the 2 greatest things there are, or the 2 most American things, as I like to say, bourbon and baseball. So welcome our guest, Matt Meyers. Hey, Matt, what's going on?
Hey, Chris, how you doing? I'm good. Hanging in there. How you been?
Oh, I'm doing good. How'd them lessons go tonight?
It's hot, man. It's brutal up here. It's super humid, but that's good overall. Kids are figuring it out.
Yeah, that's good.
13-year-old kids are getting there, so yeah, it's good. Were you out
right
on
lessons
tonight, or were you just chilling?
No, that was last night. So, well, was last night? 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago on Tuesday. Last night was my kids' graduation. Yeah. Yesterday was my kids' graduation from preschool. So they, yeah, it was a lot of fun. They sang some choreographed songs. Got to go up and talk about what they wanted to be when they grew up. That was pretty exciting.
You got a future baseball player or what?
You know, neither of them said baseball. One of them said he wanted to be a fixer and be able to fix anything and everything like his dad does, which was pretty cool. And yeah, so that was cool. And then the other one, this one was like completely out of right field. Didn't know this one was coming. He told us that, or he told this class and everyone that he wants to be a workout guy and teach people how to work out and build big muscles. And then he flexed for everyone up on the stage and yeah, told everybody to check out them big.
I need a bodybuilder trainer up here.
Hey, me and you both. So I'm gonna be the first one to hire him.
What you sipping on tonight?
Right now I start out with a Heaven's Door double barrel, 100 proofer.
Nice.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I got a good score on it to get it going. So it was on the closeout rack, which I was surprised because I see them at other stores still going in the $60 range, and it was on closeout for $14.99. So I couldn't pass that up.
Yeah, find the diamond in the rough.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot for that, and it's definitely worth it.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we had a couple more guys come in. I see Bourbon's in here. DC, what's up, DC? There's another legend in the bourbon community here. That guy helps out everybody. If you guys don't know DC, check him out. Give him a hey, and thank him for all the work he does for all the different channels out here in the community. So, Matt, how did you get into the bourbon world?
So, I mean, back when I was playing, I wasn't super into it. Obviously, being a minor league baseball player, you don't have a ton of disposable income. So, it's cheap beer and chasing girls. But now, post baseball career, I have a legitimate job, and I actually randomly, I was the asshole that walks into the liquor store and not knowing anything about it, asking for Pappy Van Winkle. And I'd worked at this liquor store prior, and every off season I'd kind of help him out. And the store manager was like, actually, I've been saving something for you. And he pulls out the Lot B, the Van Winkle Lot B.
Oh wow!
And I was like, all right. And I was like, no idea. I'm an idiot and I have no idea. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. And it's $150. I'm like, damn, $150 for a bottle of whiskey. That's crazy. And then slowly kind of delved more into it. And I met a couple of my neighbors around here that have an extensive whiskey collection, and ended up getting to try some barrel proof stuff and some George T. Stagg and some of the Blonde Brothers Old Fangold and all this different phenomenal whiskey. And I'm like, okay, this is something to get into, and kind of trying to, expand my palate and learn about more different, varieties and things I can try. So it's a slippery slope, and about 2 years ago I got into it, and it's been downhill ever since. So collection's growing and trying a lot more different and unique things, which is great.
Yeah, I know all about that, and went down that rabbit hole. And once I did, boy, watch out! It's not even a slippery slope. It's not even a slippery slope. I fell straight down to the bottom, and I'm running the tunnels, picking bottles here, man.
Well, there's so many damn things I want to try, and I'm like, that looks cool, that looks cool, that looks cool, and then $300 later, you're like, damn it. Okay.
Hey, Cheech, since you're asking what to pour something from Cat's Eye, buddy. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So pour something from Cat's Eye for yourself. Ooh, I got some feedback coming on the good old headphones tonight. I don't know about that. Hold on one second.
Is that on my end?
All right. Can you hear me here?
Yeah, I got you.
I lost everybody there. Oh, I love when the speaker doesn't want to work. All right, is everybody there? You hear me? Am I muted still?
I got you.
Okay. Can you hear me again?
We got you. Yeah.
I can't hear you. What's going on? Dun dun dun. Oh, StreamYard. 1 second, everybody. Got a little technical difficulty on my end. It seems like you guys can hear me, but I cannot hear you guys, so. Okay. All right, Matt, try again. You say something for me?
Yeah, I got you. Hear me?
Man, still nothing. Hold on, let's go back here. Let's try this again. It's not one thing, it's another. All right, there we are. I don't know what's going on. For some reason, none of my speakers or headphones want to work. These are working now. I can hear you again. So I
Got me. Okay,
for
perfect.
that. All right, so Cheech is throwing down some Nassif Family Reserve. So
Nice.
getting into the mix of things. So you started out with the Lot B Pappy Van Winkle. You know, that's a great way to start out. You know, I was sort of similar. You know, I went to a tasting and tried a couple different things and ended up walking away winning the rights to buy a 20-year-old Pappy and a Lot
That's
B.
awesome.
So, yeah, so I still have my Lot B. I don't have my
Yeah.
20-year-old anymore. But I mean, that's how I started out. That's kind of crazy. You know,
I know.
you got
I feel like
the
it's
same
kind of downhill
start.
from there because you get
Yeah.
these hard to find rare bottles everyone's after, and then you're like, well, now
Mm-hmm.
sweet ass bottle, and you almost feel
Yeah.
I feel like guilty cracking a nice bottle like that. I'm like, I'll probably never get this again, and I don't know if I want to crack it right now and save for stuff.
That's all right. I think everybody runs into that. I know several people that have some amazing bottles on their shelf, and they still have a hard time cracking them open when they're over that $100 mark. Everybody's in that same boat.
Well, that camp out we did at Blum, that old Nodder with a Madeira finish.
Yeah, tell everybody about that.
Oh God,
tell everybody about that.
Yeah, so we're out in Galena. We actually made a overnight trip to the Blum Distillery and showed up at like 1:30 in the morning, assuming there'd be a big camp outline, and I wasn't sure like how many bottles were going to be there and how early we had to show up. So we're driving from Minnesota, so we road tripped with about 4 guys. Showed about like 1:32 in the morning, and we were like 10th, 15th in line already. So it was about 10 or 15 people ahead of us, and did a whole night camp out. Met a bunch of cool people out there. It was a blast. Like, that was like an experience. It was an absolute ride. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Everyone was out drinking, sharing different bottles, and God, it was an absolute great time. And Blonde Brothers, they did it right. They had all these tickets, handed them out before we kind of went through the process of buying bottles, and I think everybody that was in line got a bottle. So it didn't really matter what time you showed up. So we could have showed up at 8 a.m. and been fine, but it would have been the same experience. It was absolutely a riot. So I would do that again. And if anybody's in that area and want to meet up for the next Blonde Brothers Old Fangle release, you let me know. Make a big party out of it.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely be making that one. I shouldn't have any family emergencies that emerge for that one. So I'll be making it out there for that.
Are they releasing another one, or are they? I've heard rumors that was their last one, or is that true? I mean, I've heard
it keeps on going back and forth. Before this one, the one before that was supposed to be the last one.
Yeah,
and then this one rolled out.
Right.
So I don't know if it really comes down to them being able to source a barrel of 12-year-old MGP to finish it, or if it's cost wise. I'm not sure what the holdup is on that.
Right.
But I know they have a very in-demand product that helps drive the rest of their product, because when you're there, you're trying everything else, and their regular product, their rye and their bourbon, they're both really good. Yeah. But if you don't know about them, you're not just normally picking them up off the shelf. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, they all looks like they're. I thought I saw they're getting into, is it not tequila but vodka, like different infusions of vodka. I thought my buddy said. He bought a couple and were really interesting. I think there's like some pepper finish one or hot pepper finish. It was really interesting. Be really good in Bloody Marys, but they're getting into some different spirits, which is really cool, and unique experience out there. Just kind of be in the middle of nowhere, which was a blast. So
yeah, definitely. No, they've been doing some good things. So I'm excited to see what they do and see if they bring us something else.
That'd be cool.
Because I'd enjoy a camp out and hanging out waiting for a bottle. Absolutely. Especially when you see some other places getting away from it, like Bell Mead with their honey.
Yeah.
Now it's all online. Like I looked at that. Yeah, I looked at that today. They had a thing on their Instagram. You could take in it's an app on your phone, on your iPhone or Android, that you can take and download. You go to their location, because it goes by location out across the country for different drops, mostly on beer. You can take and reserve one bottle, and they do like that kind of like pre-auth charge, but not charge you.
Interesting.
And if you're selected, then they charge your card within 48 hours of you getting the email of being selected.
And you have to make a trip to Nashville to pick up your bottle, correct?
Yes, you do. Yes, there's no shipping. So, and they're giving you until August 15th to go get it.
That's one of the bottles I've always, the unicorn bottle for me is that Bell Mead honey finish. But
yeah, so you might
see and never be able to actually get my hands on.
Well, you might want to get on that app and try and see if you can get somebody.
No harm in trying, I suppose.
Hey, what's a road trip to Nashville to grab a Bell Mead honey? You just said it's your unicorn. So
yeah, that's why I'd be more than willing to take a trip down there to see a couple of my buddies and pick up a bottle.
That's awesome. So what's one of your other unicorn bottles that you would chase besides that Bell Mead honey?
It was the Blom Brothers. I really wanted to get a Blom Brothers Old Fangled, so I scooped up one of those, which is awesome. Love it. We actually got to try it out there because they're sampling out the bottles.
Mm-hmm.
It was phenomenal. Another one, I mean, obviously any age stated Pappy would be great. I'm trying to think of the other ones that would be top notch. Any of the Smoke Wagon, like a Smoke Wagon Desert Jewel or Rare and Limited would be cool. Another thing I'll probably never see. All your prototype like Booker's 30th, Booker's Rye.
I saw one of those Booker 30th jump up on secondary last night.
Really?
Yeah, like $900.
Jeez, it seems like they're fewer and far between. But another one I really wanted, I just entered a lottery for it, didn't win, was a Yamazaki 18. So
yeah,
liquor store up in Hudson, Wisconsin, and those kind of sporadically come up, and it was like $360. I don't know, I'd probably reach close to retail. But it was one of those ones. I like Japanese whiskey. It's interesting. It's kind of different flavors, but I like the Yama 12. I like the Hibiki. I wanted to try the Yama 18 and have a special occasion for, but no dice. Maybe one day.
For sure. What are you pouring now?
I got a Four Roses store pick single barrel strength from our local liquor store, Andy's Liquor. So.
Oh, very nice. And OBSQ.
OBSQ. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Phenomenal. It's one of the best Four Roses I've ever had.
Yeah, we usually see those come around here, but this year, the store that usually gets them did not get them this year. So that was pretty disappointing. I was hoping to scoop up one this year.
Our local actually gets they get a couple a year actually, which is pretty cool. They seem like they always get the barrel strength and different recipes. So this is one of the top ones I've had from there. This is phenomenal. 10 year, 7-month-old, and it's September, the fall 2020 release.
That's awesome. So you've got that. What would be your daily drinker?
I would say probably a Four Roses or a Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered would be my two go-tos.
Very nice.
Just easy pours. Unfortunately, their Smoke Wagon's getting harder to find, and the Four Roses is dwindling down here. But other than that, just the Four Roses Small Batch Select just came in up here. That's a just got to Minnesota. That'll be easy to find and easy to drink. Relatively simple.
That's a good bottle, man. That's a mix of 3 to 6 of the recipes.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the top pours. And then I don't know if you have you heard the Bell Mead Cask Strength Reserve?
Yes,
that's another one of my go-tos. I love those. I've been stocking up on those guys. So
yeah, those are really good.
Can't beat those. Really I got the ones where we're the prior to the kind of the overall mass release. You got the cask strength, the handwritten bottles.
Oh yeah, you got those. Wow. Yeah. Score for you.
Those are those are my favorite, but they don't make those anymore, so those will be all the good shit starts to go away as soon as people find out about it. So
yeah, those are just 108.7s now, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, I think Matt froze a little bit there. At least he is on my end.
All right. So, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just looks like your feed froze a little bit there. There you go.
Sorry about that. It's probably
it's okay.
My iPhone 3.
It's not that. YouTube was down the other night. I want to say 2 nights ago, like when we were talking, they had some problems. StreamYard's been having some problems.
Some issues.
Yeah, you just never know anymore.
What's the worst pour you've ever had?
The worst pour?
The worst.
Oh man.
Can you narrow it down?
Yeah. The worst pour, and this just isn't this shouldn't generalize the brand at all. This was just a place that I went to have dinner with my parents. They had like a Knob Creek, the aged store pick ones there. It was supposed to be a 14 year. They poured it for me. I was sitting there. It had a good nose to it, but when I took a sip of it, you could tell that somebody had left the bottle open for a very long time, or that the cork was broken. It was just catching too much air and everything had come off it. So you just taste it. Yeah, it was completely flat.
Yeah.
Absolutely flat. So you just got these weird flavors, and it's
That's tough.
that was a really bad one. Let's see. What else? I know I have some on my shelf. I might have taken them off the shelf by now, but boom, boom, boom. I don't know. That's the one that comes to mind the most. It was bad. What's yours? Double rye? Really?
So not just the regular. I like the regular double rye, but this one is finished in Chardonnay barrels.
Oh, okay.
Thin, watery. I mean, it was kind of off-putting. I guess it's not really what I was expecting. Not a fan. I mean, there's probably some good barrels. I really like High West as a distillery. I think they're great. They put out some delicious stuff, but
they do.
Struggling to get through that bottle for about 2 years. It's been tough.
Hey man, my wife would finish it. She's the High West fan. Like if you got back here and saw, there's like 9 of the different finished expressions between the American Prairie and the double ryes, as well as Boo Ryes, Yippee-Ki-Yays.
Get through them, huh?
Yeah, she has all the different ones. She collects those. She fell in love with that. That's her go-to.
Yeah.
So she'll come down and drink some High West with me, and I'll just bounce around, and she'll try some different stuff that I like, and she'll make some funny faces.
The same hobby. That's cool. Yeah.
So she'll make some funny faces since I like the higher proof stuff, and then she'll roll back to her High West and be all good.
There you go.
So
that's her go-to. Yeah, I mean, I've had their Midwinter Night dram, and a couple different finishes, and their Yippee-Ki-Yay, and all phenomenal. I like them all, but that double rye Chardonnay finish was just touch undrinkable for me.
Yeah. So you've talked about our worst pours together. What's the best pour you've had?
So I got to try. Was it the GTS 16 or 17? What was the what year was the hazmat GTS? Was that 16?
I think that was 16.
I got to try the 16 GTS hazmat, and that's blown just about everything away. I want the one thing the rye, the JD special release rye this year, surprisingly really, really good. Like top 5 for me.
Yeah, for sure.
That GTS 16 that's a tough one to beat. That stuff was just, I mean, that flavor and layers was just, I mean, this finish was forever. It was really, really good.
Yeah, that's for sure. Those are really good.
What about you?
So, kind of in that same boat there.
Yeah.
It changed a little bit this last week when I was out of town. I definitely went for and had the E.H. Taylor barrel proof.
Oof. See, that's another I've never tried. And it looks
man, if you get an opportunity to try it, go for it.
Yeah.
I love all my E.H. Taylors I have.
Yeah.
But that took it to a different level. Yeah. Once again, my wife didn't like it. She actually called it like no, she actually called it like it was too dusty or had some mustiness to it.
Huh, interesting.
But she also tried an Elmer T. Lee, and she absolutely loved that. She said that was hands down so much better. And to me, I thought the Elmer was
kind of ho hum. For me, it seems like Blanton's. Everyone goes and seeks out Blanton's, and it's like it's good. I mean, it's not something that's I don't know, like knock down the liquor store doors to go get. But I mean, it's
Right.
Price get it, I guess. Cool bottle, average stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like straight from the barrel, blend straight from the barrels. Real, in my opinion, really, really good. But kind of after you try that and then you go back to blend, you're like, I don't know. Average.
Mike Stahl. And just for Mike Stahl, I'm going to get this question out of the way. This is our number one question that gets asked every week by Mike Stahl. And his question is, have you ever met Will Clark?
You know what? I never got to. No, never did. I wish. I was a big fan of his growing up. Ken Griffey Jr. was my dude, but I like watching Will Clark swing it too.
Yeah. Two guys with two amazing swings from the left side of the plate.
Yeah. Easy guys don't want to be.
Yeah. So Aiden Craig, he's another Minnesota guy for you. He's in the chat tonight. He says, "Hey, Minnesota represent. I'm cold just like the rest of you this year." You know, as you told me earlier, it's hot. Aiden, check outside, man. Get outside.
Hey,
I heard
Aiden,
it's hot.
Have you ever tried Isanti whiskey?
Mike Stahl, he asked me to call him the Thrilla one time. Oh, too funny. So I'm gonna grab this. This has been one of the best pours that I've rolled out in a long time. Total shock. My wife picked this because we've been seeing it over and over and over and over. This is
Horse Soldier.
Yeah. So this is the Horse Soldier barrel strength.
I've had that. It's really good.
And this stuff is phenomenal. It's an 8-year weeded bourbon. This stuff is, man. I don't even want to tell people how good this is. It's terrible. It's terrible. Keep on chasing Weller for your wheats. You guys take all the Weller. I'll take these. It's that good, man. I mean, seriously, getting 122 proof 8-year weeded for $70. I'll take it.
Area? Is that up in Illinois?
Actually, it's in Columbus, Ohio. Is what I found out. But since Ohio's a controlled liquor state,
right?
They actually don't do enough volume for it to actually be carried by Ohio. Yeah.
Huh.
Which blew me away because one of my friends lives right outside Columbus, and he told me that, and I was like, "Whoa, you've got to be kidding me!"
That's wild.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what affiliates did you play for when you were playing ball?
What's that?
What affiliates were you with when you were playing ball?
I played with the Pittsburgh Pirates system for my whole stint. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I bounced around with them, so.
Very cool.
It was fun, until I got to see all the facilities that everybody else played in and looked at what we had and went, wow.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking about the other day that some of these kids who go to like SEC and ACC schools and they get drafted and they go to these affiliates and you're downgrading significantly the facilities you're going to go into in your low-level minor leagues. It's going to be an eye-opener, shocking.
The food, the travel, the workouts, the quality of the field,
so different.
Everything.
So funny. You're flying on planes in the SCAC, and then you jump on a bus ride in the low-level minor leagues. You're like, all right.
Mm-hmm. So how was that transition from you? You came out of Boston College, which
so I'm Boston College. I drafted in 06 by the Indians in the 15th round, and then played up to, I guess, AA, AAA level with them up in Columbus, and then I got minor league Rule 5 of the Cardinals in 2010. Played in Springfield with them in 2010. Shit the bed there for half a season. Got released. Then played with the St. Paul Saints in Indy ball for I don't know. Month and a half, and then 20 some scoreless, and got picked back up by the Angels, and I played with the Angels in 10, 11, and 12, and went to Big League camp with them and up to AAA with them, and never quite got that last call up, and then I finished my career back in St. Paul in 13 and 14, but got to play with Mike Trout and Albert Pujols and Torrey Hunter and all those guys. And it was a fun, the Angels I enjoyed the most. my time with the Angels, just because you're knocking on the door and kind of getting to be the big league clubhouse and watching these guys, be the way they carry themselves in the clubhouse and the way they interact and watching Corey Hunter give each other shit. And it was a great time.
Yeah, for sure. And that'll probably knock off one of our questions here that I always like to ask. But who was the best player that you saw during your playing career? You got to watch them do their thing, because sometimes it's not always the guys who make it to the big leagues, but in your case, it very well might be.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was probably Trout. I played with him when he was 19, 20, and 21, and he was a real deal back then. It was funny though. I played with a guy named Calhoun, who's still up in the league with the Diamondbacks. And kind of watching both those guys play, and I thought Cole was, as good as Trout. He's a little obviously undersized, but just a gamer. The guy would run through a wall to get a ball. The guy you want on your team, 9 of him would be, you have a really great team. But Trout, just his skill set was on another level. Speed, and we always gave him crap about his his arm, but then now even his arm looks like he's worked on it and got to a point where he's a legitimate 5-tool guy, which is pretty cool to see. I wish he could just stay healthy, stay on the field. The game's so much better with him in it. But it was fun watching him play even at the lower levels when we're in high A and double A. So pretty cool experience to be with him for a couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. So on that note, you've talked about who the best guys you've seen play were. What was the best stadium or best place you ever played at?
Boy, hardest player the best. I think
the best. We'll get back to the other ones.
All right, the best stadium. I mean, to be honest, was our home stadium in Salt Lake was beautiful. God, there's like a mountainous backdrop. The city was great. The stadium was beautiful. They did it right. It was beautiful up there. And then I also really like Columbus. The Clippers had a great spot. Brand new stadium was Huntington. It was brand new when I was down there. I had a great time down there. And those two stadiums were just top notch, facility wise. So I'd have to say. And then I guess I got to play in Angel Stadium one game, which was obviously better than anywhere. So
right, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that place was sweet. That was my spot. Wish could have played more than 2 games there, but
right, definitely.
Whatever. Take the 2.
Hey, sure, you got 2 there, so yeah, that's awesome. So who was the best coach you ever played for?
Coach, God, there's a couple guys come to mind. Really like Greg Hibbert. He was our
former pitcher.
Yeah. Indians. Yep. Yeah, high A pitching coach. Just a guy that kind of put it all into perspective. He was, he said you're playing a game, enjoy it. Don't press. And a lot of guys, especially in the minor leagues, you try and press and press and press, and you got to get to the next level. Got to get to the next level. And, you're out there throwing a ball for a living. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. And just kind of puts it all in perspective. Just playing a kid's game. So he was one of the best pitching coaches I had. He was just a great guy and easy to play for. And then another guy coming to mind, Kenny Rowe. He's my first pitching coach in the minor leagues. My short season coach in Mahoning Valley, and he's quick with a beer. If you go out there and get shit on and have a tough outing, out of the bus. I remember blowing a save or giving up a lead in Brooklyn or Staten Island or something, and we lost. Like there's 1-0 extra innings. I lost immediately. I was like, "Wow, it sucked." And I was having a good season. He's like, "Here you go, lefty," and he hands me a Bud Light and sends me to the back of the bus. He's like, "Go get him tomorrow." I'm like, "All right, it's just a game. It sucks. You feel like the world's ending when you pitch like shit, and I got him. I got to get released because you feel like every outing you
right."
But he's like, "Here's a beer. Sit down. Go get him again." It's like, "Yeah, no worries." So kind of just calms your nerves a little bit. So one of my other guys.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. We definitely put way too much pressure on ourselves when we're there because you're always looking over your shoulder.
You got there's at your heels, and you're trying to chomp somebody else's heel.
But between the draft and free agents, there's 100 new guys coming every year for your job.
Well, it's a big situation because there's the players in the Dominican, Taiwan, the Korea, or South Korea. You got Japanese, you got Cuban, you got, I mean, Venezuelan. There's players from just every country, and Mexico and Canada, and you're all gunning for that same spot. I played down in the Dominican, and God, that place, like everyone is a gamer. Everyone's like, you're throwing 95 at 16 years old. I'm like, Jesus, this is wild. I don't know. I don't think I was doing that ever.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys are crazy, man. Ooh, there's definitely some squeakiness. I don't know if that's coming from your end or my end, because I just changed. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I do.
That take care of it?
Yeah, it stopped it.
And then it comes right back. Man. I don't know what that is. That's so weird. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this. Still there. Man, I don't know what that is. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Huh. I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from.
Is that it could be just my old shitty phone. I don't know.
I don't know. It might be. I'm not sure. I didn't realize. Yeah, because when I switched over to just using my Mac speakers, it's pretty loud. So I don't know if it's going that way for everybody else. If it is, I apologize. We're bouncing around here. I'm trying to change some stuff up, see if we can figure out what it is. But man, that's goofy. That is goofy. Oh, this. No, that didn't change anything. All the fun things with technology these days.
Well, hey, are you
hey. I did. So I'm excited to crack that with you tonight. We'll get back over to that in a few. I got to get some more baseball questions for all these guys. They love coming out for that.
Absolutely.
And Jim Morris, I don't know what's going on, man. Like I have AirPods, I have Beats, I have everything. I've tried a little bit of everything tonight, and for some reason, something is. Hayden Craig, oh dude, you always have the greatest comments. I ain't popping that one on the screen, but that's pretty funny. Jesus. So, we'll get that figured out. But here we go. We've got question for Matt. Looking at your stats on Baseball Reference, you had several years where you moved up and down between A ball and AAA. What was that like shuffling around?
It's so not ideal because a lot of the times you get moved up. I guess for me at least, I was on the road, so you essentially leave to AAA or AA or wherever you get moved to on the road. So you're packing a 6-game road trip, and then you got to usually fly back in an off day, pack all your shit up in your vehicle if you have a vehicle, and then drive up to the place you're getting moved to. And God forbid if you get moved back down, then you got to reshuffle all over again. So it's not a super ideal process. You're living in your suitcase for a minute till you get your stuff back, but not ideal.
But I'll tell you what, I guarantee this: when you go on a family trip, you can pack a suitcase better than anybody you've ever met.
Yeah, I pack. My wife, "Guess all you're bringing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I need a backpack of shit." She's bringing like 2 full carry-ons. I'm like, "You got to clean it up. You need 1 pair of shoes."
Yeah. That's one thing I learned from getting shipped out like that, and all of a sudden all my stuff's left behind. You learn in a hurry how to pack 1 carry-on or 1 backpack to get rolling.
You minimize your belongings real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, when you get moved up, you don't care. You could live. I mean, I wear the same pair of clothes. If I get moved up, same pair of clothes every day. I'm a happy guy. I don't care. You're moving up in the minor leagues. It's a good thing.
Oh yeah, that definitely is. So that brings us to our next question. Who was the best hitter you ever faced as a pitcher?
Oof. Boy, everyone that I faced raked me, so I don't know. The best, I would say, Mike. So being a lefty, I was supposed to get all these lefties out, so I faced Mike Moustakas in AA, and I was like, I got this guy. Like kind of a funky lefty, kind of low 3/4 arm slot. I'm gonna be fine. So I'm running fastballs on his hands, and he turns around an absolute mammoth, like foul ball home run. I'm like, oh, okay, like foul ball is just a strike. You probably can't do that again. And then one pitch later, I try and run back another fastball in his hands. So 90, 92, just uncorks another home run. I'm like, okay. So I can't go in on that dude. So every time I pitch him, I had to stay away. He would just do that. Guy was unreal. I couldn't get him out. And then the other guy that comes to mind was Will Meyers in Omaha. And I think he's with is he with the Padres now?
He's with the Padres, yeah.
So I was facing him when he was at Omaha. And I was in Salt Lake, and I'm not going to make an excuse that the wind was blowing out 40 miles an hour, but it was. Okay, so it was probably 40 miles an hour straight out to left, and throw a fastball in, and this dude's just a caveman, no batting gloves. We ripped the ball. I think it went out of the stadium, and after the game, like that was the farthest home run ever hit in Omaha history. I'm like, well, it's only like a year old, so it's not that big of a deal. So whatever, go to hell.
Yeah.
But I think it still stands. I'm like, Jesus, it's like I saw it. Cool. So I was like, that's brutal. But those two guys were tough outs, and I think they still are. I don't know. Moose is getting a little bit older, but I think Will's still hitting relatively well.
Yeah, he is. So those are the best you faced. Who is your favorite strikeout ever?
So I guess I owned. Which Seager plays for the Mariners? Is it Corey or
Kyle?
I own Kyle. I feel bad. I feel bad even talking about it. I think I struck him out like a dozen times in a row in high A. That kid could not make contact, and like I think he was a top level pick for them.
Yeah, he was
first or second rounder. God, I had his number every time I faced him, and it was, no matter. Every time he comes up, they're like, Meyer, you got him. I'm like, all right, no, just 1, 2, 3 right out of the gate. But one of my favorite at bats I've ever had was when I was at Angels Big League camp, and I was warming up. I came in like early in the game, which is random for a non-roster invitee, and it was like third or fourth in, and we're playing the White Sox up in their training facility. And, I think it was Konerko, and then Adam Dunn, and then Alexi Ramirez. So, I'm like, I think I have the fastest outfield in like baseball history. I think I had like Mike Trout in like left, and Pete Borges in center, and Torrey Hunter in right, or Vernon Wells could have been sprinkled in there somewhere. I don't know. And it was just like studs. So I'm facing Konerko, and they want me. I kind of dropped down, so I had like a low 3/4, and I dropped down even lower, and kind of alternate arm slots. But they all wanted me to go all drop down. I got Konerko to 0-2, and then try to nibble 3-2. So I'm like, I'm fastball on the shitter, and he just hits a piss rod to center, and it's like, oh god, that's a double. And Borges is like a gazelle. I think he ran it down in camp. I'm like, oh my god, that's wild. But as I was warming up before the inning started, I was watching Adam Dunn on deck because he's a big lefty, and he was super bitter to face him because he was trying to hand his bat off in the dugout. So he didn't want to face because I was kind of a weird arm slot lefty, and he's trying to give his AB away to somebody in the dugout. I'm like, that is a riot. So my favorite AB ever is I got him to break his bat and go opposite field when we had the shift.
Nice.
And a diving play in the 6th hole. I'm like, that's pretty sweet. I got Adam Dunn to break his bat and go oppo. That's a feather in my cap, I guess, for the rest of my life.
Hell yeah, dude. That is awesome.
Enormous human being. He is a ginormous guy.
He is. He's huge. And to think that guy was one of Texas's all-time greatest ever quarterbacks.
Really?
In high school football. Yes.
I believe that. I played with Hafner in camp with the Indians. He was a big dude. Dunn dwarfed everybody I've seen. Not even close.
Yeah. Yeah, he was crazy big, man. That was definitely a dude that was larger than life. So what was one of I'll ask you like two more questions, then we'll get into some today baseball stuff. I have a couple guys chomping at the bit to get our takes on Tony Larussa and his stuff the last couple days.
Against the Twins,
especially with me being closer to Chicago and you being in the Minnesota area, so we can have some fun with that. But let me get these couple questions out of the way. So, what is your favorite memory from either college or pro ball?
Trying to think. Getting drafted obviously was a memory that I'll never forget. Just kind of always been a dream of mine growing up as a kid. Being that, getting that your name called in a draft was something that was really special. But I think for us, we when I was at BC, we migrated to the ACC my junior season, and it was a rough transition to the ACC. I think we were 9-21 in the ACC, but we were playing Clemson. I think late in the year. I think they were up to number 1 or 2 in the country. Really good team, and we're scuffling to get any wins we could get. And we ended up holding this lead late in the game. It was 3-2, and I remember facing. I think it was like Tyler Colvin, Andrew D'Alessio, and one other good. It was 3 lefties in a row. It was lefty. And I came in. I think it was 2 outs. All right, there was 1 out in the 8th, and I came in and punched out 2 guys, and then started the 9th and punched out. So I punched out 3 guys in a row, and we ended up holding the lead and winning 3-2. And for BC, they're not real baseball powerhouse, but we took one from Clemson when they were top. I think they were a top 2 or 3 team. So that was one of the memories I remember just vividly, just because it was kind of a trademark win that year for us, and we didn't get many to begin with. So that was one of my favorite memories in college ball. That was a blast.
That's awesome.
The memories. I got to play in Northwoods and Alaska and Cape Cod and all over.
Where did you play in the Northwoods?
I played for the Rochester Honkers actually in the Northwoods. So I got to live right at home. Was kind of nice little nice little homecoming, which was kind of a rarity, especially when you're usually staying in host families' houses and kind of
nice,
a little off-putting. So.
Oh yeah. I remember those days. I played for the Bucks for a short stint there.
Waterloo.
Yeah, so I was there, but then I played in. That was one thing in its own. But you get into some of the other stuff. I played with the Nevada Griffins.
Okay.
And not Nevada. It's spelled Nevada, but they say Nevada.
That's an Iowa,
it's
right?
the no, that is in Missouri. It's on the Missouri and Kansas border.
Gotcha.
And it's actually in the poorest county in all of Missouri. So let me tell you about some of the awesome stuff. There, you didn't drive up the main road just past town because the militia had it blocked off.
Interesting.
There was some interesting stuff. It was very reminiscent. There was one amazing bar and restaurant that downtown, everything else was boarded up, but there was one really nice one. So it was reminiscent of the movie Roadhouse. I really felt like I was part of that movie because people would come out of the woodwork and you'd be like, where are all these people from? Because this town's all boarded up besides from the Sonic down the road. And here's this big, beautiful place. You get in there, it gets rowdy as hell at night. It's full. They got bands playing all night. Yeah, it was like, oh yeah. But those of us that were there, it was pretty crazy. We were there before the draft, so we were there for 2 weeks. And out of the 24-man roster that was there, 22 of us got drafted and 22 of us left before the season started. I think we played one game.
They started season shortly after everybody took off, or they back?
They had other guys ready to come in, and they brought in a whole nother team. It was crazy.
24, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, dude, out of our pitching staff, no joke, there wasn't a guy that threw under 92. Everybody was 92 or up. It was nuts, man.
Wild.
The amount of talent that was on that team blew my mind.
That's impressive.
Probably the most talented team I played on, whether it was pro ball, college, or anything. That was it right there.
How many guys ended up making the show from that school, from that draft, from that team?
From that team, I think 8 of them.
8 did it. Jesus.
Yeah.
Pretty good odds.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. It was one of those. Whoa, that just happened.
Yeah.
So that's my crazy story on that one.
Whoever recruited that team deserves a raise, or should probably be a big league GM.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, they definitely put together a heck of a team, you know. I felt like low man on the totem pole at the end of the day, but
still on the totem pole.
Hell yeah, it is. So, what was the worst minor league city you played in?
Oh, man. There's multiple that come to mind. I think I played in Kinston, North Carolina for parts of 3 years, and I guess I can't complain about it. We was close enough to Greenville where we got to go out and have some fun in Greenville, but it was not a whole lot going on there. It's kind of like, I don't know if it was a dying city. It was just not a lot going on. And we had one bar, it got closed for somebody selling drugs out of it. There was not a whole lot of savory things happening in that town. But you know, other towns you go to, you're there for such a short stint. So it's hard to get a feel for, like, you know, we were in like Batavia and you know, all these little cities in New York, and you know, you cruise all over the place. Yeah,
I've talked Batavia with a couple other guys, and that was their worst city ever. So you are the third person on this show to bring up Batavia.
I don't know. I didn't spend enough time there to, like, you know, develop an opinion on it, but it was not a whole lot happening there. Like, we were down in Lynchburg. Lynchburg's not a whole lot going on. Dry County, strange. I've never been a part of that.
Yeah.
Salt Lake was really cool. It was very eclectic city. It was just very, you know, polarizing, because you're either, like, you know, very Mormon. You're very, like, you know, nothing was open past 8:00 p.m. maybe and 7 p.m. And then, you know, half the other city had like face tat. Was there, so like non-conforming. It was very, very interesting dynamic up there. I just like that city a lot, just because it was clean and well kept, and just, you know, good spot to be, but just different. But I'd say, you know, for the time I spent there, Kinston, I think Kinston's upgraded significantly since I left. I think they kind of revitalized a little bit, but boy, it was like a Walmart and Ruby Tuesdays. The bar was closed.
Yeah, we've
and try and talk to East Carolina girls.
Yeah.
And, you know how it goes.
Yeah. So one of our guests, Shane Long, asks a fun question here. Take it for what you will, but it's fun based off baseball. What's your favorite lingerie to wear under your uniform?
Boy, I never got into it. I never got the Giambi thong going, but you know, it's funny you ask, because we had one guy in our Indians clubhouse who would have the rally thong, and he would put on
the rally thong. Hell yeah, dude!
Like shit, he'd fire it on and you know, walk around the clubhouse and kind of loosen the moves. Everyone kind of get a little bit tense, and then he'd walk around like, Jesus, all right, yeah, it's a game, we're good, and we go out and kick ass. But it was you know, it was funny, just, you know, the one guy to do that. Guy was like the first rounder, like 2008 first rounder for the Indians.
Now was it true rally thong with heels, or just rally thong?
No heels. I don't think you could pull out. I think it was thong only. I think you would roll an ankle and bent out. That would have been hard to explain to the manager if he put down wearing it.
Yeah, we had a guy do that one time. I was blown away. I just sat there shaking my head, laughing. And he was one weird ass mofo in the first place that did some insanely weird shit. So, you know, kind of one of those, it is what it is.
How the hell, like, how did this guy make it out of his mom's basement? It's wild.
Oh yeah.
Were you high school drafted or college drafted?
No, I was out of college. So I got drafted as a redshirted sophomore.
Okay. Did you play with some high school kids? I'm assuming that, or you're drafted with some high school kids? Yes, definitely. Yeah. Did you notice a legit, like, learning curve from them? Like, not just like, I mean, we had kids who didn't know how to address an envelope or write a check or go grocery shopping or do their laundry. And I was like, dude, I'm a father figure to these children, like, on the road. I'm like, this is actually, like, crazy.
I had a guy who lived with me who had a I want to say he had a 6 or 7 year big league career that would have fit that bill 100%. I won't name names, but there was a morning. I remember this. This is great. We're in Erie, Pennsylvania. We lived with a lady who hosted the baseball team as well as like hockey, because that's like a big town for hockey heading into the hockey draft. So she was awesome. She was a social worker, hooked us up. Yeah. So we're out in the front porch drinking coffee in the morning. Old boy comes downstairs. He had just got his first phone bill from her. You know, because I was back before cell phones. I'm a little old, but back before cell phones. And he's like, "Oh my God, my cell phone bill, my phone bill is so expensive." He's like, "I'm going to write letters. Letters are cheaper, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay." So he runs upstairs. He's upstairs for a little bit. Then he comes back down. We're sitting there still drinking coffee. And he's like, "Hey guys, what about postcards? Are postcards cheaper, or do I have to pay by the word?" And he was straight face, serious as hell. "Do I have to pay by the word on a postcard?" I didn't even know what to say to that. I was dying. I was absolutely dying.
I hope you play along with. Yeah, it's very expensive. Words, 10 cents a word is gonna be pretty expensive. Better just write "I love you."
Oh my God. Yeah, it was definitely a trip. So here's another question that came up. Is there a bourbon you drink that takes you back to the game when you drink it? If so, which? If not, what are you, a vodka drinker? Oh, shit.
To be honest, I didn't drink a lot of whiskey when I was playing. Again, just budget-wise, as a minor leaguer, you don't make anything. I got my first decent contract when I got released by the Cardinals and picked back up by the Angels. And, as towards the tail end of my career, but I didn't really get into whiskey until I was a post-career. But, I'd drink whatever was on sale, that there'd be like, penny liquor night or, dollar draft night or whatever. We go to Myrtle Beach and whatever the house special was, and we sucked on, I don't know if you're in Myrtle, but those stupid ass 190 octane things get you drunk real quick, real cheap.
Oh yeah.
But
many a nights on those.
Yeah, I mean, if I would have known, the extent of the bourbon selection or whiskey selection, or the amount of cities you go to, the liquor stores you can walk into and just browse and kind of see what's on shelf, I would have been. Yeah,
and that's where last week's guest Brandon Larson. That's where he's rocking it out, man. He's in AA right now, traveling around throughout Texas, and yeah, dude, he's killing it. He posted a picture the other day in front of his locker, and like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Instead of being,
it's great.
Yeah. So instead of it being like the proverbial crotch shot, did I do it right? He took a picture of like 5 cases in front of his locker and said, "Hey guys, did I do this right?" I was like, "Oh shit." So yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Good for him. Stock it up.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's absolutely awesome. So I'm going to bust into a question. We're going to get into the unwritten rules of baseball via Tony Larussa. First off, Tony Larussa, my opinion, one of the best coaches to coach the game. But damn it, you retired, you left the game on a high note, and now you come back to us. And why did you come back? I just feel that Tony's very, very out of touch with the game, from not knowing extra inning rules to not knowing a lot of things that are going on with the game today. And, I look at the White Sox fans, and I think right now they're lucky. They're in first place. They have amazing talent. But I think Tony La Russa and his decisions are going to come back to haunt them because I've watched them squander at least 5 or 6 games based on his decisions already.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the game has changed so aggressively, so quickly. It is hard to keep track of all. I mean, the rule changes are wild. You know what I mean? It's from last year. I'm not a huge fan. I kind of wish they would just keep I mean, I know they're trying to make it more fan friendly and expedite games and make it more exciting, but
yes,
you know, the games. I mean, it's been this way for hundreds of. I mean, I don't know hundreds of years, but I feel like a long time, and it's entertaining. It's that way for a reason. It's not it's not a football game. It's not quick, short, exciting plays. It's kind of a chess match. You're going back and forth, and
right.
I don't even know the rules currently. I mean, do pitchers have to throw to more than one? It's like you can't have.
Yes, they have to throw to a minimum of 3 hitters.
So you've eliminated the situational pitching. So that expedites the game, I guess, a bit, but it also kind of takes away the strategy of it. And I mean, I wouldn't have a job in this day's game. Like I would have been a situational lefty. I would have never had a chance. So you're also kind of ending guys' careers that are, situational pitchers. But like you said, La Russa is definitely, I mean, if you're a big league manager, you have to know what's going on in each game, each situation, because if not, it's a detriment to the team. If you don't know, your extra inning rules and you're screwing up substitutions or you're fucking something up, L's matter in the long run. I mean, it's a long season, but it's not that long enough where you're going to be costing yourself wins in the long run and missing a playoff spot by a game. So I think, like you said, I got to play with him for him when he was with the Cardinals. I was dressed up for one big league game, and the dude was he was old then, and that was
right.
11
Yeah,
years ago.
for sure.
So I was like, Jesus, he's still going, but good for him. I mean,
so to take it there, we all know that. But what do you think about him saying that Yerman Mercedes made a mistake in what was it? It was 12 to 4.
15 to 4. They had a position.
Yeah.
Pitching. The Twins had Astudillo pitching, and Eloy Jimenez was up on a 3-0 count.
No, it's Yerman Mercedes. Jimenez tore out his shoulder trying to catch a ball in spring training. Like,
that's right.
That's hard.
So, I guess there's kind of 2 ways to look at it. If I'm Yerman Mercedes, right, you're going to go through arbitration, and they're going to look at your numbers. They don't care if your numbers it's money. So if you're trying to make your money, they don't care if you're hitting home runs on a 3-0 calling off a position player. They care, hey, what do your numbers look like? But now the Twins' perspective, you're getting your shit kicked in. You have a position guy throwing 46-mile-an-hour fastballs, and it's a 3-0 count.
And it's the 3rd time they've had that guy pitch this year because they've got blown out so bad. Sorry, Twins fans.
Both for the Twins season, obviously. But, you see both sides. But if I'm Mercedes, screw off everybody. I'm trying to make my money. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Thank you.
Get your monnie.
Yeah. Those guys are out there playing for their next contract and everything else,
Yeah, your career.
If somebody's throwing you a 46-mile-an-hour meatball, dude.
Yeah, and he's a 28-year-old rookie, right? He's an older rookie.
Yes.
I mean, how much longer is his career going to be? I mean, how much longer? What's his big league longevity? Not 28. Not great. So,
right.
I mean, you can see both sides, both perspectives. But if I'm him, I'm saying, well, that's too bad. I'm making money. I'm going to hit a home run. I don't care who it's off of. So.
Yeah. So what do you think about Lance Lynn calling out Tony La Russa and saying what he said, since he made it public, saying it's bullshit, and if the Twins are offended by it, then put a damn pitcher in.
Yeah. I mean, I think, publicly shaming your own player is interesting. I don't know if I'd ever go that route with what La Russa did. You know what I mean? It's, in my opinion, kind of keep it behind closed doors, keep it in the clubhouse. Just because, the world's so full of drama as is, it doesn't need to be another headline. But, I don't have a problem with Twins throwing at that dude. I don't have a problem. I mean, I think, if they felt pissed off, it was warranted. But I mean, what? So Lance Lynn was pissed off at Tony Larussa, or what the hell happened?
Yeah, he was pissed off at Larussa because Larussa talked to the media and said that Mercedes made a mistake and that he would pay for it.
Yeah, I don't
were
know.
his exact words. He made a mistake and he would pay for it. So
publicly, I don't think you say a word. I think you keep it behind closed doors. I don't know. That's just, any clubhouse issues we had in the minors or, in spring training with all, it's between, it stays in the clubhouse doors, and even so it should be at a point like, nothing leaves this clubhouse. It all stays here.
Mm-hmm.
The media's just itching for a story. They want anything they can run.
Oh, 100%.
Make a big deal out of it. And it's like, a lot of times it's blown out of proportion to a point where it's not even a story, and they blow it up to a roll, and it's players like, nah. I mean, that whole Mets thing with, I don't know even what happened with that rat or that rat story in the clubhouse or in the dugout. I'm like, what the hell is happening? Like, I mean,
yeah, we all know better.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man, it's blown out of proportion to a point just to make a story. So,
yeah, we all know somebody brought the hooker bus to the clubhouse early that game. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think, and baseball does such a good job of policing itself, that it's taken care of. In my opinion, I was who threw it? As a Duffy? Did Duffy throw it? Mercedes behind him, and he got 3 games.
Yes.
So there you go. Duffy threw behind him. He got a 3-gamer. Points made. Nobody got hurt. Nobody went head hunting. He stayed, and he threw. I mean, he did hit him. His legs are below. I was wasting down, which is if you're going to hit somebody, stay down low. And I think it took care of itself, in my opinion. I don't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't think Larussa even needed to say a thing. I mean, I think everyone was kind of on the same page. I think Mercedes had a right to swing, and I think the Twins had a right to be mad about it. I mean, it is what it is. It's baseball. There's going to be hurt feelings when you're getting your shit kicked in every game,
Ain't that the truth?
As a Minnesota sports fan, we're used to it, so it's what we do.
Unfortunately, you guys got great facilities. Every once in a while, you run into having some great teams, and you still end up with this stuff. I mean, I had high expectations for the Twins this year, and I'm not seeing it.
I thought they were going to do well, and to be honest, like, I'm not a Twins fan. I know now I just cheer for the guys that I played with, growing like through the minor leagues. But if I cheer for a team, I guess the Twins would be the team. But I'm not like an avid fan. But it'd be fun to see a Minnesota team win anything other than the Minnesota Lynx, like the WNBA Lynx. So it'd be fun to watch the Timberwolves have a winning record one time, or the Wild sneak through the playoffs or something. But who knows? That'll never happen.
So Tim busts off this one, shitty owners in Minnesota. So I'm going to ask you a great question that's brand new. How about A-Rod taking over as the owner of the Timberwolves?
He'll be moving them to Miami. He'll be the Miami Heat, the Miami Timberwolves real soon. He'll be out. I wouldn't want to move a team up here if I was A-Rod. I mean, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah,
I'm really confused.
Maybe it'll be the Jacksonville Sun. We'll bring out Jackie Moon.
I feel like I'd rather watch that than the Timberwolves shit they put on the court every night. It's embarrassing. But yeah, if I'm
definitely.
I'm gone. I don't blame the guy. That was surprising though. I mean, was that like a post breakup, like Jennifer Lopez impulse purchase or what?
They were in talks to buy that team before that, so I'm not quite sure what happened there.
That's interesting. I was very surprised by that whole sale.
Yeah, it looks like my damn feed froze again.
Did it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's StreamYard. I don't know. It shouldn't be my internet. My internet is cruising at a good speed here. I'm getting tired of freezing all the time on this. I don't know what I have to do to fix this, but we're gonna have to make some kind of improvements here. This is getting ridiculous. From the scratchiness to the frozen screen. Like when I'm looking at StreamYard right now, everything's flowing perfectly fine.
Right. It seems like every
and I'm sitting.
It's like crackling.
Yeah, and I don't know what's up with that either. I'm a little miffed here because I'm looking my upload speed and my download speeds are fantastic at the moment. So, well, it looks like I'm back now. Maybe. There we go. So it looks like it's working. So we've talked about that. We've talked about all the good stuff. I'm going to make the transition over to our pick from our group, which you led the way on. I made a stop out at Cat's Eye, got to meet John in the middle of everything, and take some samples from the barrel. Had a great time that way. Yeah, Tim Evans, I'm not even using my keyboard, buddy. I'm not even sure what that is. I'm not even touching the keyboard. But I hear it too. I'm not sure what's going on tonight. I just checked my upload, my download speeds. They're really good. I don't know if it's my USB or USB-C device that everything's plugged into, but something's sucking on my end. But back to our pick, man. So for our baseball group, we have a group of former minor league players, current minor league players, and former major league players. It's called Barreled Up. We've all found this love and passion for bourbon and whiskey after we got out of the game for the most part, except for some of these young guys that are getting in here.
Yeah.
So that being said, Matt's one of the co-founders of our group and hooked us up making an awesome store pick for our first pick ever, as it's a hot bottle in the bourbon community that everybody's been chasing down. But we grabbed one of the so-called legendary or awesome Obatanium Light Whiskeys. So Matt was able to sample 5 different barrels, right? You had 5 different samples?
4 different ones, yeah.
4 different ones, and they range from 130 to 136, I believe.
130, I think 132 to 134. They're all pretty similar, pretty close in range.
Okay. And we ended up with a 67.6%er. So pretty awesome on that.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong, man. 13-year-old light whiskey. So for any of you wondering how many bottles they get out of those barrels, ours was 130 bottles.
130, yeah.
So
pretty short supply, and yeah, our pick sold out in our group before it even hit the shelves up in. So we went through Haskell's and White Bear Lake and through Mike Scharf, who did a job helping us out, and been a easy transition from distillery to bottle to distribution. So it's been a great process, and I was kind of worried just with our group being so spread out. The distribution process, I was worried it was going to be a huge pain in the ass, but went out without a hitch. I think everyone's gotten their bottles, even the guys I shipped out to recently. Everyone, we're going to do a big Zoom happy hour with our group and kind of get everyone's feedback and see what the thoughts and tasting the bottle, which is going to be, we'll do that probably in the next couple of weeks. But really happy with how it turned out. The stickers were designed by Rich Rodriguez and his wife. So I sent him a little gift bottle, and just everything went off great. And the group has been phenomenal, and a lot of like-minded guys, that all have that same, like Chris was saying, same passion for bourbon, whiskey, and baseball. So it's been
definitely
people and kind of volleying ideas and shooting off bottle picks and getting feedback from different bottles, which has been a blast. So.
Yeah, it's been a great experience so far with this group, and exploring one of these as our first pick when it's a bottle that everybody's chasing around everywhere. Wow, you can't go wrong, man.
It's pretty cool.
We got lucky on that one. And when you talk about Mike up at Haskell's, I would say pretty much everybody in this chat right now or on this live stream is familiar with him from the ADHD whiskey drop through Nassif. So as I'm looking at the names, I'm pretty sure most of these guys were in on that.
Yeah, I actually was up there picking up our orders the other day, and I talked about that honey barrel, and I had assumed it was finished in a honey barrel, but it's actually a honey barrel, the different tasting notes. So I was like, what's going on? He's like, it's phenomenal. You got to get a bottle. So I was like, all right. So next time I'm up there, I'm gonna scoop one up. But yeah, Obatanium. It's the Obatanium Bourbon Honey Barrel. The 80, I think is close, if not completely sold out. But Mike's been phenomenal to work with, and that store has been great. They ship to a majority of states, and it's been an absolute, just easy process. So can't say enough about that guy.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. I'm excited for whatever we decide is going to be our next pick after talking with everybody on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm already chomping at the bit for us to get rolling on that because we did so well with this one.
Joe was talking that Freya Ranch. That'd be cool. That'd be a treat.
That really would. One of the guys that's in here, Mr. Whiskey Shits, actually hooked me up with a sample of the Freya Ranch, and what they are is they do barrel proof, like straight from the barrel for their store picks.
That's awesome,
dude. Those things are amazing. It's
so good.
It was really, really good. Yeah. Like I had that sample, and I wish I would have had like a whole bottle. I milked that sample for what it was worth. Let me tell you. But I would love to have another one of those, and if it's one from our group, that would absolutely blow me away.
Yeah,
that would absolutely do it, man.
Oh, all right, let's get some feedback from this group, Chris. So if we were
to for sure.
Like we were talking about kind of the baseball, the store picks all have these unique stickers and whatever. Would a baseball card sticker signed by a big leaguer or a former big leaguer be something that would be, would that be a novelty? Would that be something cool? Would that be like, I don't know, would it be lame? I'm really confused, like what makes a sticker desirable or, draws a crowd. But I'm trying to figure that out as I go here.
I'm going to put that in the chat for us. So just threw that in there. But I think that would be a winner. I think that would get some guys checking it out and wanting to be involved, especially since everybody's familiar with Haskell's now. They know they can get stuff sent to them.
Yeah.
But I think if we did drop that, having some former players or former MLB guys, sign a sticker that was like a baseball card, I think that would be pretty cool for guys to grab onto and get a hold of.
Well, it'd be kind of like your, the baseball card / bourbon, hobby. It kind of tie in both of them. I don't know if people are still into collecting baseball cards. I think from what I've seen recently, baseball cards.
Dude, it's pretty big.
So, it'd be interesting. And, I texted my buddy from the Red Sox and I'm like, you into whiskey, or is anybody in your team that's into whiskey? And we could potentially do like a team pick, like, all right, the Red Sox pick this barrel and the Brewers pick this barrel, and it'd be kind of cool to have some feedback if there's a couple guys on the team that are into whiskey and they want to be a part of it, and be like, here's the Brewer barrel, here's the Angel barrel, here's the
Well, Tim Evans said we'd buy it anyway. The Bourbon Wrench, who is Trevor, who has a very good following on YouTube himself, he said I'd buy it. We've got another one. Yeah, we've got a lot of guys that I think would buy that. So I think we're on the right track there.
Good. That's good to hear.
Definitely.
So Mike Trout, when I played with him, he was 19. He only drank Smirnoff Ice. So I don't know if he's into whiskey. I could put out a feeler for Mike and see if he's into it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty amazing. Like if we had bottles signed by Mike Trout, I think they'd all be gone in an instant. To be honest,
it'd be a quick sellout.
Yeah. Yeah, Jim Morris said he'd be interested depending on price point. Cheech said I'd buy it if the juice is good. Tim Evans said that's 180 bottles done. Yeah. So I think we're on the right point there.
Okay.
So here's another question. It's going to jump us back to the playing days. But Marty from Whiskey Nose asked, what was your most embarrassing moment in baseball?
Oh, man. I remember this vividly. I was in high school. And we were playing at the Metrodome back when the Metrodome was still a thing. And I got pulled up to varsity, or I think I was on varsity, and got put in late in the game. And I think we were winning significantly. But I thought the bases were, I was playing first base. I thought the bases were loaded. Ground ball to first base. There's only guys on second, third. I fielded it and threw it home. Nobody was going home. I could have stepped on first base easily and made an out and been none the wiser, but I threw it home, not stepping on first base, and the pitcher looked at me like I'm an asshole. And I was like, well, I thought, the bases were loaded, so I thought I was getting a force out at home. Everyone looked at me like I was an idiot. I got blown up on the bus. Everyone gave me shit for the whole ride home. And I was like, all right. So situational awareness I never forgot who was on base ever again in my entire career. Because like, I don't want that to happen again. The only other time I was super embarrassed on the field is when I was with the Angels and Torrey Hunter was playing right, and the bullpen would warm up your right fielder, and I throw like kind of goofy, kind of sidearm, and he doubled over laughing in the outfield because I was like, I throw like I'm a left-handed pitcher, so I'm not a super athletic guy, but I was just kind of like lobbing it like he's like, you can't throw normal. I was like, I can't throw normal, and he's like, oh my god, and he started like dying laughing in the outfield as I'm like trying to throw to him, like, so I threw like one, and then I just walked back with like my tail between my legs. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. That shit was embarrassing as hell. I can't do that.
Right.
So, Torrey Hunter was like the nicest dude ever, like complete, like you see him
yeah, he is super nice,
when you
man.
see him on TV, and like his personality is just like energetic, like super great teammate, and that's how he is in like real life. Like the way you see him on TV is exactly how he is in real life, and just like the ultimate like teammate, awesome clubhouse leader guy. And I'm like, fuck, I just embarrassed myself in front of Torrey Hunter. And I'm like, grew up watching him with the Twins. I'm like, hey,
right,
to sign a ball for my brother. I'm like, hey, and he's like, sit down, Rook, and so it was really cool. But I was like, damn it, I just wanted to like him not to laugh at me on the field. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. See you guys later. So
right, yeah, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So I'm going to propose this to the group just to see what kind of feedback we get on this. You asked what they thought about the signed bottles, which was pretty cool. Good feedback on that. Different bottles we've talked about or had guys bring up that they have access to. What would you guys pick? We've had Redemption thrown our way, Frey Ranch, Barrel Bourbon. There was something else that Mike mentioned the other day. The Elijah Craig. Yeah. So we've had at least those four thrown at us already. If we were to put this out there and open it up to all you guys and do a sticker that would be signed by a former player and stuff, which would you guys prefer? It'd be interesting to hear this. Tim Evans, 4 Roses.
Me too. Great. Done.
I'm down with that one.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. We'll release a 10-card set. It will have all the different batches from 4 Roses. It'll be a collector's item like the Chessman set all together. Cool. We're doing it.
I'm good.
Who has the contact for 4 Roses? We need to, we're promising ahead of the game here. We're over-promising, under-delivering. Watch out.
Yeah, we'll get some shit bottle make. Here it is. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Well, so far there's a Frey Ranch. Aiden Craig says a William LaRue Weller. Aiden, the closest I can come to that is the barrel behind me is actually a William LaRue Weller. There's no juice in it, but I got the barrel. I'll sign it for you. But
yeah, it sounds like Frey Ranch is the consensus favorite, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
I gotta try. I've never tried it.
Dude, you need to try it. I've got some coming my way soon, just the regular one, and I'll send you out a sample. Okay. So yeah, I'll get you that. I've never had the regular, so I'm excited to try the regular.
Yeah,
I've had the barrel proof, but I will get you the regular. It's supposed to be great too.
Okay.
So I'll get that out to you. I've got to give Trevor some shit here. He said his first pick is going to be a Jephthah pick.
Okay.
Dude, absolutely the worst crap on earth. If you ever see it on the shelf, don't buy it, dude. Jephthah Creed.
Is it better or worse than Malort?
Equal. It's a bloody butcher corn bourbon.
Oof.
And it tastes like burnt shit in your mouth.
Okay.
Absolutely burn shit in your mouth. And Tim Evans, we are actually leveraging that. We have somebody working on getting that done by lining up a couple of current major league players to help
We
us
have a
with
couple
that. So
couple guys that we're talking to currently, doing our best to reach out to. Obviously it's the bigger name guys. We will carry more clout, but it'd be fun. And it'd be more fun to get guys that post baseball career Hall of Fame guys would be sweet. My goal, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that new riff, the Ken Griffey Jr. bottle.
yeah,
That's my guy. Ken Griffey's obviously like 99% of the guys growing up my age wanted to be Ken Griffey Jr. Unfortunately, I was slow and had a bad swing and, wasn't a great fielder. So resort to pitching. But that would be like my ultimate. I would love to have that dude's autograph on a bottle. I got
hell yeah,
for Seattle currently. Justin Dunn. I coached him.
okay, yeah, yeah, for sure.
I was like, if there's any way we could get in touch with, not even just Ken Griffey Jr., but anybody that, if there's anybody into whiskey, let me know. I would love to do a pick with them, and obviously, send some bottles off to charity, which would be great, and then
Yeah, for sure.
he wants for give as many as he wants for helping us out and signing some stickers for us, which would be really cool, and it'd be a really cool opportunity to kind of give back and to charity wise with you could do some charity auctions for the bourbons, and then it'd be fun to work with guys that have the same interests in mind too. So something that we'll hopefully get in the works, and ideally it works out. But
yeah, and Ben, don't worry. We'd be trying everything before we did it. Matt had Cat's Eye send him samples. We would actually be going out and doing a distillery pick, so we could make sure we're putting out something good. We're not just going to put our stickers and our names on anything. If it sucks, it sucks. It's not us.
Yeah,
just like we've talked about in some of the other groups or some of the other things we have going on, but we definitely wouldn't be going that route. That's for sure, buddy.
Yeah, not just picking something to pick something. We want it to be a quality bottle that's as cool on the outside as it is on the inside.
So Young says, I'd like to hear Chris and Matt compare notes on what it's like to lead or join a tasting for a pick. Best experiences, worst experiences, or experiences that could have been better. Well, my notes on this one were I stopped at the distillery when we were waiting for the samples to go to Matt because of COVID and everything else.
Yeah.
So I actually got to try a couple of the different barrels when they were just sitting at the Cat's Eye Distillery,
right,
which is in an industrial park, and basically like just your straight one-shot industrial park. It's probably the smallest distillery you've ever seen in your life. So I'm going to tell you straight out of the barrel, awesome experience. Was fantastic. Now Matt's lining up the bottles. He still has the samples here.
Yeah, these are the 4 they sent. So they sent them in a little package. So they gave me 4 little sample bottles, and me and my 2 buddies, we all poured samples, kind of shared notes, kind of what we liked, what we didn't like. Kind of mouthfeel, nose, finish, flavors we got on each of them. And we kind of narrowed it down to, I think it was the 134.6, or no, it was the 134.2 and the 134.8.
Okay.
They were kind of different. This one was more vanilla on the nose. Caramel was kind of lighter, more ethanol. Very different. This one was kind of lighter, fruitier, and this one was kind of caramel and kind of darker flavors. We really we chose this one just based on the depths of flavors. We really enjoyed that one, but again, they were all great. I mean, it was really hard to choose just because they're all they all had great flavor, great depth, but this one just had the most for us. And but I think majority of times this is the first tasting and only tasting I've ever done for a barrel pick sample. And I think a lot of times you do it at the distillery, you kind of make it a whole experience, kind of make it like a type of vacation almost. You kind of find your close boys and you go down there and make a trip out of it, and hope you remember what you tried, and hope it was good, because I think a lot of the times you get down there and it gets a little rowdy and gets a little wild. But the one we chose, we're happy with it. I think it turned out great. We chose 134.8, and then I had that printed on our sticker for Rich to print out for us, and then it ended up being slightly higher proof than what we had sampled. So I was like, is that change from barrel to bottle? And he goes, it can have slight variation. So like an idiot, I posted the 134.8 on our bottle, and it comes in at a higher than 134.8. So I'm like, well, it's just a completely rookie move on my part, but I guess you live and you learn. So
yeah, but that's not a big thing. But I will tell you, that is the one that you put off the 134.8. That is one of the ones that I got to try.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm excited about it so much, because I tried that one straight from the barrel, and the flavors.
It's good. I mean,
like I was expecting a burn on it at that proof, because even like my GTSs or my Stag Juniors and stuff have that burn. Yeah. But this was super smooth. Yeah. It had that deep butterscotch, and then just like butter and like that bread, you just kept on. There were so many layers of flavor in this one. So when you posted that's the one you picked, I was like, yes,
winner. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, it's absolutely excited about that.
Subtle too. It doesn't give off any hints of the 135, 136, 135 at all. So
no, they did a good job with these over at the good old MGP, and thank you to Cat's Eye Distilling and Gene for hooking us up, because these are awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited to be able to have them and have our sticker, but something that I got to taste from the barrel, you got to taste in your samples from the barrel. Like, absolutely. Dude, it doesn't get any better than that. You know,
it was cool. I mean, I know it wasn't the true like visiting the distillery experience where you're getting to pull it straight from the barrel, but the process we got to go through is just I think it's the COVID protocol, but still, you're gonna try 4 different samples and getting to pick how they stack up against each other and pick your favorite one. Right. It's cool, and I think it'd be even more fun to go do it with a group of you guys at a distillery. I think it would be a blast. So future, if we ever can line up another barrel pick, I think we make it whoever can make it down.
It needs to be a weekend. Yeah, we need to make it a weekend and have fun with it. I'll definitely be there. I'll make it happen.
Make it a little experience for everybody, and whoever can make it, the more the merrier, I suppose. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. So Bourbon does pop up the one question and says, the issue with an autographed bottle, it becomes more about the outside than the inside.
Right.
While that's true, in today's market with secondary and everything else, it is what it is, man. Look what happens with Smoke Wagon every single day. The Razzles out there, you see bottles that we're selling for $89 or $129 going for $1,000, and it's not because of the sticker. It's because it's just a Smoke Wagon. It's got a red label on the front of it. So whether it's an autograph or it's a label, if you drive the interest of it enough, I think it goes. I really do. And that with us, like we're talking about doing some charity stuff with it. Being able to get better picks with it, and do some good things with what we're doing. We're trying to do all the right things with this. This isn't a money-making entity for us in any way, shape, or form. So for us, it's more about sharing with others, you guys coming here and seeing some, getting to hear some great stories, getting to share some of our bottles with us, help us be able to make more picks, do some cooler stuff.
Absolutely.
And do some charity work with it, because that's what this is about,
Absolutely.
We're trying to keep it simple. We just want to drink the whiskey. We're not going to lie. We want to drink the whiskey with
what we're
you.
Here for. You drink the whiskey and you keep the bottle on your shelf as a cool little collector item.
Yeah, that's it. We're not going to lie. We just want to drink the whiskey. Well, Tim Evans has a good one. He said, what about this? Do a signed pick baseball card along with the pick instead. And that's something we can do because I have ability to get that stuff done for us, to actually get the cards and get them done, and we can have somebody sign all the cards.
Yeah.
And we can include that with your pick. That's not a bad idea. I like that.
It's neat. Yeah, it kind of creates a little baseball / bourbon kind of a little contest.
Yeah, because then if your bottle's gone, you've still got that card, so you've still got something. You don't have to leave an empty bottle. I think Tim
kind of reminisce about your bottle with your card.
Yeah,
coincides with it. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think Tim Evans just nailed a good one for us.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
he just said, "Aren't you all signed with Topps anyway?" Yeah, I believe all of us are. That's another question. I didn't ask it. Did you get your $5 check, and do you still have it, or did you cash it?
I saved it because I heard it was bad luck to cash it, and apparently I didn't cash it, and I'd still didn't make it to the big leagues. So it's somewhere. It's probably in one of my old baseball bags. I have so much baseball shit laying around. It's stuck somewhere.
Join the club. Join the club on that.
God.
I've got a couple stand-up 2-door garage things filled with baseball stuff. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
I need to start giving my crap away.
I've done a lot of that too.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of that. So, we got another one. Young's got another question. I had another question. What do Matt and Chris think new players coming in need to start doing better? What do they think they need to stop doing?
As for baseball, in my opinion, and I don't know if I'm going to be in the majority or the minority here, but everyone's so worried about launch angle and analytics and playing the game, spin rates, and all this I don't know, tangible, like Rapsodo type, analytic crap. It's when I watched baseball when I was growing up, it's did you hit the ball hard? You know what I mean? Did you throw a strike? Like watching Greg Maddux growing up was some of the most impressive. Like watching him make that ball move and keeping hitters off balance. And I don't know. I think baseball is so focused on how hard you throw and how hard you hit and your launch angle and all that stuff that it's so backwards now. You see the average in baseball now is what, like 234? I think I read the lowest. 234,
the lowest it's ever been.
History, right?
Going into today, 1,425 more strikeouts than hits.
That's crazy. The amount of strikeouts. I know it's all about making it exciting and power show and all this bullshit, and even I watch guys now, they in high school and they're giving lessons to these kids and it's all about drive line and throw harder and do this and do that, and I'm talking about kids locate and change speeds and keep hitters off balance. Lost on kids these days, and I think it's going to continue to be lost as velocity is taking precedent for pitchers and home runs are taking precedent for hitters. It's frustrating because you feel like good baseball isn't even being played. It's just power baseball now. It's so different than before. And I guess the game evolves. I get that, but as watching it now, it's like, God, is it more entertaining to watch these guys punch out 12? I know there's 7 no-hitters already in the first. 7 no-hitters currently, correct?
Correct.
And
six technically, and Bumgarner's they don't count. Even though they consider it a complete game, they don't recognize it as a no-hitter, which is bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
It can't be one or they both have to be the same. It's not a complete game. It's not a no-hitter. Right. But if it's a complete game and it's recognized as a complete game, it has to be recognized as a no-hitter.
But so my thing is, people are getting no hit regularly now. And it used to be a rarity. Now it's like a regularity. It's just changed so much. And I wish people would get back to, instead of, I'm hitting $138, but I have 12 home runs. Like, who gives a shit? You're hitting $138. Like, it's not good.
Right.
Like, I'd rather see a guy hit 300. Like watching Tony Gwynn, watching, like people who would get on base and set the table for other guys and.
Right. And we don't have that. We don't have the different levels of hitters anymore.
No,
you had your table setters. You had your power hitters.
Yeah, you set a line.
You had your protection hitters.
Absolutely.
We've lost the art to the game, to the computer. And in my opinion, all of a sudden baseball is probably the only sport that can get controlled that way because it's a pitcher versus a hitter.
Correct.
Football, you have a quarterback, a running back, a tight end, 3 wide receivers. There's many, there's many variables, so that happens. Hockey, there's multiple layers. Basketball, there's multiple layers. But when it comes to baseball, we understand that you have a pitcher versus a hitter.
Yes.
So when I take all the data possible of what a hitter does based on certain pitches and where he hits the ball, I can move all the defense I want into perfect positions based on what he does. Now, if I'm calling the pitches and I'm moving the defenses, I'm controlling the outcome.
Yes.
And that's just it. We've taken the human element out of the game because we've told all these hitters that they need to focus on launch angle. They need to drive the ball and hit home runs.
Yeah.
We've taken away the bunt for a hit. We've taken away the hit the other way. We've taken away things like hit and run.
Yeah.
When we do all of those things, we play into the predictive model.
Absolutely.
And if you've done anything with predictive modeling or analytics like that outside of a sport, the computer is always going to play to its strength. And that's what this is. The computer has said to the hitters, you have to hit home runs. You've got to drive the ball because that's how you score the most runs.
Yeah, absolutely. That's their manufacturing is only by the deep ball. That's essentially the only way you're going to throw around in a game.
Right. So if we get to that point that we let the computer dictate what the hitters do, and now the computer is using that information to defeat the hitters, the computer wins. Yeah. We are letting AI control the game. Not the geeks, not the number crunchers. A computer is controlling the game because it's telling us what the hitters should do. And it's playing it's playing 100% against that by telling the pitching staff and the defense what to do. Mm-hmm. So we've taken the human element out of the game. We've taken stolen bases out of the game. We've taken putting pressure on the pitcher to hold the runner because guys don't steal anymore.
Right.
We've taken away we've got these shifts. If you've got this huge shift or random shifts, why aren't we hitting and running the other way?
Yeah.
Why are we not stealing? Why are we not doing delayed steals?
Yeah. Like if you're giving me the third base line as a free knock, I'm taking that free knock 100% of the time. I will slash a ball to the left side, or if you're going to play me dead pull, why not take a free base? Why not set your table? Don't be a selfish hitter. All right, I know I'm trying to hit a home run, but let the guy behind you hit. I mean, you get free bases. Take your free bases. It's dumb. I don't get it.
Yeah. It's just like Clayton Kershaw getting on there talking about 7 no-hitters already for the season is bad for the game. When you've got one of the greatest pitchers out there, it's bad.
It's a problem.
It's bad, man.
It's a problem. It's just, it's so shifted it's an aggressive shift to power baseball versus situational baseball versus skill set baseball. It's just all power baseball. It's impressive. It's impressive to watch a guy throw 100 miles an hour. It's really cool. It's a rarity, but what's the longevity of their career? You see these guys throw 100 for how long, and then it's a quick rise and a quick fall. Look
at Syndergaard. Syndergaard's that guy was there. He's gone.
Yeah,
and he's working his way back, and then he's struggling. When you're putting that much stress on it,
it really is. DeGrom to me is one of the most impressive human beings.
He is.
Watching that guy do his thing and getting stronger as he gets older is such a weird, an anomaly. It's really surprising. But you throw that hard, you're bound to. Scherzer's another guy that's super impressive, but the amount of torque and pressure it's putting on your elbow and shoulder, it's not easy to maintain. And you look at it's hard to do.
Right. And you look at guys that are backwards mechanically from a biomechanics point, like Tim Lincecum, which generated all of his power with his front leg instead of his back leg.
Yeah.
You saw him tear out his hip labrum, so his front hip a couple times.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the velocity was gone. The guy could still pitch, could still locate, could still do everything, but all of a sudden you took a guy throwing 97, 98, and he's throwing 89, 91.
Yeah, it's harder to pitch that when you're used to being a power pitcher and you become a finesse guy at 89.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to have success just with that, with your stuff being significantly slower.
Right.
And he still did, I mean, relatively well comparative to the situation, but not easy. It's not easy to adjust having to pitch completely differently than what you're normally pitching with. But I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I got a buddy that plays for I think he's still with the Braves, Josh Tomlin, who he's never thrown hard. He's 88, 91 always, but the dude has gigantic balls and he just pitches. He throws everything for strikes and he's a competitive dude. And it's like, I got pitch forever. You know what I mean? He's just a guy that wants the ball always. He'll do it till they tell him to retire, and then.
Absolutely, and he gets after it, man. But he's throwing a true 87, 89, man.
That dude has been that way since I got drafted with him. He was a 19th rounder in 2006 out of Texas Tech with a shortstop. Shortstop in college, and he was like
same as DeGrom. DeGrom was a shortstop.
Yeah, Stetson, right?
You know,
Tomlin was a fringy, like he was like a swing guy, kind of like borderline, you know, like is he going to be on the team next year? And then he just kept throwing up 2.0 ERAs, 2.0 ERA every year. He pitched himself right to the fucking prospect list into the big leagues. I'm like, he's a gamer, and he's a guy you like. Another guy like Cole Calhoun, like you want him on your team. He's a guy who's like,
oh, dude, that guy would run through a wall for you.
This dude's a fucking gamer, and like he's a guy you want. Like I'd give Tomlin the ball every game just because he'll take it and he'd never say a word, and he just do it.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that assessment. You know, one of the guys I like seeing play today, and it's because he goes against the norm, and that's going to be a White Sox currently, but it's Nick Madrigal. You know, that's a guy that is old school throwback scrapper.
Yep.
He's going to get his knocks. He's going to hit the ball the other way. He's going to take that extra base if you're not paying attention.
I want those guys.
Dude, thank you.
Like I saw Sano. He had 3 home runs the other day for the Twins.
Yeah.
I looked at his average. He's hitting a $138. I'm like, you hit 3 home runs. You're hitting a $138. So like that's almost more impressive that you're hitting a $138 and you just hit 3 home runs in a game. You're still hitting a $138. That's wild to me.
Dude, he's hitting a $138 and he's still in the show.
Yeah, and it's insane. Like, I just think like
you know the talent below him. He's hitting a $138 and he's still in the show because
is Kirilloff a trip? Is it Kirilloff?
He's in AAA. Yeah. He's in AAA. Yeah. That dude can rake all day.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's interesting how power takes such a precedent over like on base percentage now. It's weird. I don't know. Like you said, I'd take Madrigal. I'd take guys who table set. If you took, 9 guys like Madrigal, 9 guys like Cole Calhoun, 9 guys like Tomlin, who just have a 2-strike approach, adjust in game to different pitching instead of like you don't see guys they take an 0-2 hack the same as their 3-0 hack. Every hack's the same. There's no adjustment. It's like, what the hell are you doing? Like change your approach one time, but it just doesn't happen, and it's interesting to me. But I mean, I guess people are trying to get paid, so. It is what it is.
They're doing what they're told to do.
That's true. Yeah.
And once again, it comes down to that predictive model.
Yeah, that's true.
And that predictive model is running the whole thing. Yeah. So Tim Evans just asked another, I think, a good question. We haven't had this type of question yet. So what's the worst political non-playing move you ever saw on a team?
Political non-playing move. Worst political non-playing move.
I would think that would be moving a player or moving somebody for something that happened other than baseball playing. When somebody goes out and busts curfew or somebody gets caught running the train on
I'm trying to think. Okay, so Josh Tomlin. This is a story about Josh Tomlin. I'll roll him right under the bus. Him and his roommate Jared Gettert, and this was our first year we were in Mahoning Valley, short season A ball, like straight out of college. We were, you know what a leaner is?
Yeah.
in your hotel room leaners.
Mm.
So he put a leaner of like a trash can of water on like 3 or 4 doors, and our manager, I think it was Chris Tremy at the time, or Rugi Odor. I think it was Rugi Odor. The maids were pissed because they had to clean up all the sopping water in the hotel room. And they made Josh Tomlin and Jared, they're like, who did this? And Tomlin and Gettert, they're both country boys. Gettert's from Kansas and Tomlin's from Texas. And like, who did this shit? And Gettert and Tomlin, of course, country boys. Yep, it was us. Raise your hand. You know, a lot of the people be like, I don't know. I have no idea. Raise their hand. Yep, that was us. And it's like, here's your fine, $50 fine or whatever the fine was, and kind of to stand up and apologize to the team. And that was like, I mean, I guess non-political. Like, it was just a funny, like, dumbass. You know, you're kids still. You're 22 years old, and so they dumped a bunch of shit on them, and they gave them crap all season about that. But and another move, we were me and actually my roommate, or one of my best friends in minor league baseball, his name was Sungwei Singh. So that Taiwanese guy, one of my boys.
Nice.
So we were it's a story. Me, him, and Jared had some big league time with the and we stole all the political. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we stole all the like political. There's like, I don't know if it was like a local race. We stole all these political signs out of these people's yards on the walk back from Buffalo Wild Wings, and we stacked them in our hotel room. And Tremy, our manager that day, or manager that season, comes onto the bus, and he has all these signs and is like carried them with him. I'm like, oh my God.
Was that Chris Tremy?
Chris Tremy, yeah. Awesome. Fucking awesome. Best dude ever.
Dude, he's legendary. He's legendary.
And he walks onto the bus with all these signs, and we're like, what the fuck is happening? And he throws me, who did this? And we're all like, God. And it's like, we're all hungover already. And it's like, I think it was a travel day. So we're like driving from, I think we were in Frederick, Maryland, or where we're going to, I don't even know where, in the Carolina League, maybe Lynchburg. And so he's like, who did this? And me and Sungwei and Head all look at each other and like, God damn it. So we're like, get up and raise our hand. Like, all right, fine. So I think we got fined $20. We had to do like conditioning the next day for being like drunken dipshits. We're like, oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's just like 99% of stories where I do dumb shit were like fucked up with my buddies at the bar, like Myrtle Beach, or, you know, Myrtle Beach was one of the hardest places. Vegas and Myrtle Beach were the 2 hardest places to play just because you go out drinking and.
All right. On that note, worst baseball bar story. We've all got them. Yeah.
Worst baseball bar story.
I mean, I know we could write a book between the two of us and probably have multiple bestsellers. Oh, but what's the worst?
The worst? I want to hear yours first. I want to know how like what our.
Oh man, see, I got a couple worst ones. So I've told this one before. So we're in Canada in St. Catharines in the New York Penn League. We go out to this bar / club. Seemed like a great idea, right? You know, we got cabs to take us there. We're there.
Oh yeah.
Everything's going good. Me and Joe Beimel, who pitched for like 15 years in the bigs.
Yeah.
Sitting at the bar, chilling, minding our own business. You know, we got a couple of our catchers with us who seemed like the most laid back, chill dudes ever. Until you got them around women.
Oh shit.
And then it was like game on. Like, you know, they were it. Well,
dudes.
Yeah, the last thing I think you should ever be doing in Canada when you're Americans is trying to pick up chicks while their boyfriends are right there.
Yeah, that's not a good move, probably.
Yeah, so we're sitting there. We hear a little beef going on. We turned around. We looked. Everything seemed okay. Our guys were walking away. As soon as we started to turn back around, I heard someone yell, "Oh, fuck!"
Uh-oh.
I turned around. All I see is a barrage of bottles flying through the air. And like 5 guys rushing these 2 poor bastards.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Long story short, what a bar brawl.
Dude,
What an
bar brawl-
absolute bar
bar
brawl.
brawls
We had to
are-
bar brawl to get out of the damn place because it was Canada versus 4 dudes from the
Yeah,
Pirates.
you guys are in trouble. You guys are outnumbered now.
Yeah, we were trying like hell to get the hell out of there just to get to the door, and even the bouncers and stuff were trying to fight us, not letting us get out, like pushing us back into the crowd with them trying to go after us.
Make sure you get your ass kicked by your friends here. Yeah, that's
Oh,
tough. That's a brutal.
shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. We got out of there. We literally looked like we got our asses handed to us, but like we all thought we were champions because nobody got knocked out. Everybody still was doing good. Nobody lost any teeth.
Got no
Maybe
black
had
eyes. Yeah.
yeah, we had one black eye
bad.
going on. We had some bloody lips and stuff
All
like
right.
that. But
Made it through.
overall, we survived Canada. Nobody got knocked out. None of us went to jail, thank God.
A bunch of hockey players up there too. So I mean, you're
Yeah. Oh, dude, there was some good brawlers up there. Let me tell you. I was super excited to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, it's not a bad spot. I think
Yeah.
I actually wasn't a bar brawl. I was not even in pro ball. I was home for a Thanksgiving. You know, in your off season, you go. I think it was a college break. I might have been home for my first season pro ball, and this is crazy. This is like a kind of an out of control story, but I was at a bar. All my buddies were there. It's kind of a high school reunion type setting, and kind of 150 bar close. Everyone's the last call, and this guy's throwing peanuts at my buddy or popcorn at my buddy, and you know I'm all fucked up, and I walk over to him and I'm like, "Dude, what's your problem?" And he's like, "You are." And I'm like,
no.
Like, well, excuse me? And I was like, "Do I know you?" He's like, and he picks up a bottle, and I'm like, "You gonna hit me with a bottle?" And he's like, "Yep." I'm like, "All right, let's see it."
I love when they telegraph the moves.
He nailed me, and the bottle didn't even break. It just scudded like the back of my head. I was like, he just did that. So I'm like, motherfucker. So I was like, and it was, granted, this was like kind of your story, like 3 of these dudes that nobody knew, like meth head tweakerish type guys, and then like my entire high school. So it was like a swarm on these 2 dudes, and I get like pushed to the back, and I was trying to like splinter a barroom chair to like grab like a kind of like a club and kill these guys. I was hammered at the time, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And they were gone, and my head was like, I had to get like 2 staples later that night, and I was working as a bellman late that summer or that off season. So I'm sitting in the bell closet like 3 weeks later, and all my staples out. I'm good, and I'm flipping through the paper, and I see this dude's mugshot in there, and like, this so and so wanted for murder, and I was like,
oh shit.
So this dude's progression of the dude who hit me with the bottle, he went to a bar, he broke a bottle on a guy's head and tried to stab him. Then he went to the bar I was at, and he hit me with a bottle, and then he killed the guy in a trailer park. He like stopped a guy's head in the trailer park, and I'm like, so I had to go pick him out of a police lineup like 3 weeks later, and I was like, what in the hell is happening? That was like a non-baseball story. Like that was me just getting into a barroom brawl like you were talking about. But
yeah,
that shit was wild.
Yeah.
Like, this is not normal. But like during season, I think, God, I remember being in Myrtle Beach, and we were there's some local Myrtle Beach crew there, and we were with the Kinston Indians, and we just go, the Broadway at the beach fun, like Croc Rocks bar, and we're getting into it with these guys. Like these dudes were talking shit, and they didn't realize we were with the whole team, and there was like 3 or 4 of these dudes, and we're talking like it was kind of going back and forth, and like we're ready to like fight these guys at the bar, and then the national anthem comes on, like how they play the national anthem at the bar, so everyone stops, takes their hats off, and we're talking like crazy shit. Hats off, like hand over our chest, like, all right, wait till the songs, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. And then all these 3 dudes are like, oh my God, there's like a whole team of these fucking guys that are crazy. Like, let's get out of here. So we were sitting there like basically like ready to fucking throw down with these guys in the middle of a national anthem. And these 3 kids are like, all right, yeah, it's time to go. Let's get the hell out of here. So that was like one of our funnier like bar story nights, or like I'd never gotten to like a ton of like no big fights that I remember. We're all pretty low key guys, but there's some funny stories of just drinking and carrying on. But like that story kind of comes to mind just with the stupidity of like a national anthem comes on, everyone shuts it down, like respect for the anthem. Throw your hat off, get ready to kick these guys
for sure. For sure. So here's another one. Craziest clubhouse brawl.
Ooh. Clubhouse brawl.
You know you saw some. And by the way, guys, it does happen. It happens. When you take people from all over, from Puerto Rico, the Dominican, American guys, Canadian guys, sometimes guys don't realize they're crossing the line with some little things they say. That means a whole different world in another country, especially when you got some guys trying to say Spanish shit. Yeah. And by the way, Puerto Rican slangs and Dominican slangs, completely different.
Different. Yes. Oh boy. Let me hear yours. I want to hear yours first.
We had a huge clubhouse brawl in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Oh, the Spinners, yes.
Yes. And it happened after we had an incident with the Spinners at our park where they decided to our mascot used to drive around in an ATV before the game, and he drove by and like sprayed them all with a squirt gun. So when he went back by the next day and was going to do the same thing, like 3 of their guys like ran and dove and tackled him off of the ATV and like drug him over towards our dugout and like did the team like throw him. They had no clue. They had no clue. It was a 16-year-old kid that weighed like 95 pounds in the costume.
Broke the poor kid's arm or what?
No, he was fine. But he was also one of our clubbies. He was one of our clubbies for the summer. So you know how that goes. You know, he's part of the team, man. Yeah. So we get to Lowell. It's like a week later. By the way, Lowell's a shithole.
Not a lot going on in Lowell.
No, there's not.
The stadium wasn't bad.
The stadium was legit. Yeah. I love the stadium. But yeah, the town, it was all right until they told you couldn't go out at night. And they told us that at the hotel. I was like, shit. But anyway, their mascot comes over in front of our dugout, does some smart ass dances and shit. And we had a couple of the guys go and grab the mascot and proceed to had all the tape from the trainer, like not the tape, but the for putting the ice on, the saran wrap rolls. Yeah. They had taken both of the trainer's saran wrap rolls and totally wrapped up the mascot as tight as they could. We're laughing their ass off. We're doing the log carry over to the dugout and hear a female voice.
Oh, no.
And all went, oh, shit.
That's not that dude you thought it was.
Yeah. Definitely wasn't a dude. They did that to a girl, which they all felt like shit about. So you got a bunch of guys who were kind of upset, getting back into the clubhouse pregame and stuff. And for some reason, one of the guys popped off to the Dominican guys, who all thought it was still really funny, which then became a war of the words and slangs. And like one of our Dominican guys was actually very wealthy. His family was very wealthy in the Dominican, like very higher up. So he just busts off and says, where I come from, you're all my bitches. And you would bathe my feet for me and I would walk all over you. So fuck all you gringo white people.
Oh boy. Not gonna win any friends that way.
No. So that was okay. And then for some reason he started tearing into everybody else and talking about how he was supreme to everybody else in the clubhouse. Oof. And he went after one of our first round draft picks and told him that if he thought he had money, he was a nobody and he needed to go back to the trailer park.
This guy sounds like he had issues.
So I watched 2 dudes with baseball bats have a fucking lightsaber battle in the fucking clubhouse trying to kill each other. So you had a 6'6", 235-pound first round draft pick swinging a baseball bat at a 5'10", 225-pound catcher.
Yeesh.
Who was swinging back at him, and they were going to town. And then it became everybody else rushing into the middle to try to break it up. And as we're tackling them, they're down on the ground. And they're still one-handed trying to hit with the bat, hit the other guy. Oh, my God. let's just say a couple guys got fucked up in that fight. And when we went out there for the national anthem, there were definitely a couple guys with black eyes or, some swollen lips or cheeks and shit like that. And they went out there and took the field that way. Play ball.
Good for them. That's wild.
Welcome to the late 90s, my friend.
And guess what? Nobody said a word about it outside the
clubhouse. Nobody said a word about it. And the next day, we were all out, we were on the bus, all went out to dinner, and nobody had a freaking problem.
Yeah, nobody has anything to say. Just keep it inside the clubhouse.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those ones that didn't make it back to the big club.
Yeah, big club. Big
yeah.
Club, no clue, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
I have none of that. I mean, that sounds wild. We had one Dominican guy who got pissed that the other team was talking shit to him during a game. This is in Kinston again. He brought out a fillet knife outside the clubhouse and was going to stab the other team's pitching coach. And we had to kind of talk him off a ledge. And he ended up punching one of our other guys in the face. And I was like, I mean, you're a psycho. I mean, you're not going to stab somebody because he's talking shit. It's wild. But that was the extent. I mean, we didn't have – our clubhouses all got along pretty well. A lot of anybody that was way over the top intense would kind of get harassed so bad that you got to fucking dial it back. You look like an asshole. It's a baseball game essentially. So,
oh, yeah.
You kind of – I don't want to say you humiliate guys, but you get them to a place where it's like you got to understand you're playing a game and – you don't take yourself too seriously, because if you do, you're never going to survive. The people who take themselves too seriously they just couldn't. They don't make it. I mean, if you're that intense all the time, 24/7, you're not going to do well. You're not going to survive. So,
right.
We had enough college guys and guys who had been around the game long enough to give them enough shit where they're like, maybe I am just being a dipshit. And you're like, yeah, no, you are. Like, time to clean it up. But for the most part, our clubhouse has gotten along relatively well. There'd be skirmishes and some shit talking here and there, but never I don't know if there was ever a physical altercation on that dude punching another guy in the face after he told him to not stab a pitching coach. I'm like, okay, it's valid. Yeah. I think that's a valid point. We're good there, so.
Yeah, no, I saw lots of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I had some pretty crazy teammates. I had a couple guys. And this will go down as one of those stories. I'll tell this. There are decisions to be made in life, and you have to pick the right path. It's like one of those books where you come to the end of the page and it's A or B.
Yep.
So one of the towns, I'm not going to say which town, but one of the towns I got to, I had two guys that were committed to be my roommates. One of them was a 5th round draft pick. Another was a free agent signing who was a catcher coming out of junior college, converted to a pitcher who threw 97, 99. Dude was filthy. Damn. So we find our apartment. We're all set. We go out to dinner because we were just waiting for the lady to get back with the lease and all that good stuff. So we're out at dinner. And of course, they pick Hooters to go to. Who doesn't go to Hooters when you're playing baseball and you just you get to jock around and talk about how great you are and I'm going to be in this town for a while. You should come to a game. I'll hook you up with tickets.
Be there. So a lot king shit at Turd Mountain.
Oh my God! So a lot of that shit going on, right? They're all talking to every girl. The one guy, like he came from LA, so for him it was on. He's like, I'm from LA. I'm a pro baseball player. Yeah. So next thing I know, we're getting ready to leave and everything. And everybody's like, they're like on the way back to sign Lisa, like, dude, this ain't going to work out. I'm like, what? They're like, we're going to take you back to the hotel. Maybe you can hook up with a couple other guys to live with.
Huh.
I'm like, why? They're like, yo, those two waitresses at Hooters, they just lost one of their roommates. So we're going to take the room and we're going to live with the chicks from Hooters because they said they throw parties every night with the chicks from Hooters.
That seems like a great idea. Good for your playing career.
I was like, oh, shit.
2 weeks later they're washed out of the game or what?
No, they made it through the season.
Damn.
They made it through the season,
God,
but
instant Hooters roommates, huh? That's wild.
oh, dude, instant Hooters roommates. Those guys were showing up late for shit. Looked like they hadn't slept, which God knows, they hadn't.
I guess you can't blame them for that.
Oh, dude, plenty amazing stories of, hooking up with Hooters chicks and Hooters chicks in the hot tub. And I mean, you name it, you heard a lot of stories, but they literally cashed in their baseball careers
for Hooters roommates
for 3 months of Hooters roommates.
I don't know. I think I'd take my baseball career.
Hell, dude, I would take my baseball career because as well as I do, you could go from city to city and find a Hooters girl if you wanted to.
Not that hard, I suppose.
No.
If you play the baseball card, I guess it's even easier too, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I watch guys shit their career away for living with Hooters girls.
Hooters, interesting.
But, Hooters make you happy, right?
Yeah, I guess. I was a Buffalo Wild Wings guy. My picks in short season went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, that shit's not cheap, man. At least I was in a college town where everywhere had quarter beer each night. My short season, so
that's not bad.
Yeah. No, quarter beer was all right.
Yeah, I missed that. We didn't have that option.
Yeah, you'd be amazed what you come across in some of those towns, man. Especially out on the East Coast. You went to Boston College.
Yeah, there was some places out there to get. It was a blast.
Oh, it's unbelievable. So, common question or common myth. You're going to be able to debunk it for everyone. Everyone says the women get better or more attractive or on a better scale as you go up the line. So from A ball to double A to triple A on up, do the women get better?
I always look the same, so no. But I think the cities you play in have more options, more selection. I think that's the only difference. You know what I mean? So you're in the middle of nowhere, New York, and you got, your selection in Batavia versus your selection in Sacramento or Las Vegas, significantly different options. So I guess to a point, yeah, I guess your women you have better options as you get higher levels, just because there's more options. So yeah, I would say it gets better. Would you agree? I mean, am I on the right track there?
No, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, I'm ugly, so I never really had many options, but my teammates always had some good choices, and they were always the better cities. You have more choices. One of the things I was going to tell you, one of the funnier stories. So when I was playing towards the end of my career, it's 2013, 2014, I was married, and we'd go to bars, and all the guys on my team had Tinder, and Tinder was a new thing. And I'm sitting there just at the bar having beers, watching this train wreck happen, and this poor girl, I would be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we're playing the Canaries or Fighting Pheasants, whoever the hell they were, and this poor girl would match with like 8 of my teammates, and they're all like hovering, like, and this girl's like a wounded gazelle and a pack of like hyenas, and I'm like sitting on the sideline just watching, and this girl is just like, I match with this dude, and I match with this dude, and I match with this. She's just like eyeing up the scenery, and I'm like, this is the best. This is better than like any TV I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch this poor girl try and fend off like 8 scavenger dudes trying to hook up with this girl. This is great. This is awesome. So I'd sit there and just suck down beers and watch this like reality show happen in like real time. Like, this is the best entertainment ever. Tinder was the best invention of all time, and I'm just getting to watch it play out. It's so good.
All right, I'm guessing this is one of your guys. Adam Seaman asks, haha, what about Winnipeg?
Oh, God. No comment.
Adam Seaman, we want to know more about that in the chat, buddy.
No
more about that in the chat. Dude, I'm telling you, part of pro baseball, if you were a guy coming out of college and you got a couple years under you and you got to watch a bunch of these high school guys come in, or these guys from the Dominican, and you would allow yourself to sit back and just watch the shit matriculate
Honestly,
on a nightly basis. It was better than TV.
Oh my
It was
God.
better than anything you'll ever see in your life. It's fucking hysterical.
It's so funny. It's honestly, it's like free entertainment arena. I like go and get fucked up with my buddies and just hang out. And I'm like, this is just a riot. I go out and just get black out with my friends. Like, this is so much more fun. Like, to the tail end of my career, I was like, I know I'm not going to be a big leaguer at this point. Like, I'm kind of like, I know I'm like 2013, 2014, I'm the Saints. Like, if I get another chance to be a rarity, I'm pushing. I think I was pushing 30 at the point, and it's like I'm going to just enjoy like the tail end of my career and just really like have fun with the guys on the team, because it was like a blast. Like, we were ripping fireball shots before, like, pregame when I was with the Saints, because we're like at the end of the season, like, we're fucking out of the playoff race. It doesn't matter. Like, have a couple shots, loosen up. We went out and like kicked the absolute shit out of the Sioux Falls team, like 14-2, and then we did like, all right, we got to keep it going. And then we got our shit kicked in like 15-1 the next day. Like, oh, that didn't work very well. Like, all right, fireball shots work for just note to self, one game a season. All right, so we're like, and it's just like all these guys are kind of at the same point of their career. You know, you're either last shot or you're done, especially in indie ball, and it was a riot. So I miss that team. It was a fun team.
So in a comparison, indie ball to affiliated ball, what's the greatest takeaway from indie ball?
So indie ball to me is pure baseball. Indie ball was you perform and you win. Like, you have to win. That was it. In affiliated baseball, it's like a guy could go 4 for 4 with, you know, 2 doubles, a single, and a home run, and the team would lose, and that dude was ecstatic, right? Didn't matter. They don't care. Indie ball, like, at that point, everyone's kind of pulling the same way. Like, you know, you still want to do well individually, but you want to win. Like, you're all pulling for that same goal of, like, I want to win a championship. In affiliated ball, it's like, I get moved up at any point. I'm not going to, like, if I'm not on this team later, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm pitching well right now, I'll be in AA later. I'm pitching well and I'll be in AAA later. I'm pitching well right now, I'll be in the big leagues that I'll get a call up. You have no investment in that season. In my opinion, it's different, because you're like, well, I obviously want to do good for my team, but at the same time, like, I want to, you know, do well for myself and get moved up. And in indie ball, it's like, I'm here to win. Like, right now, I want to win every single game. I want to win a championship. I'm here to like play and win, and you know, there's no moving up. It's, you're on a team. Like, there's no chance for advancement unless you get signed. So it was very different, a different atmosphere in the clubhouse.
Nice. Yeah, and I've seen that because after I was done playing, we have a team that's in the Frontier League here.
Yeah.
Which has now transitioned over to, we're a Northwoods League.
Okay.
So we lost that aspect of things here. But I went in and I worked with players and worked with some of the pitchers and stuff, and it was back to that level where it was almost like college and some of the college summer ball. It's like guys are out there playing because it's their passion, it's their dream, it's their life, and they don't want it to end. Like, they are
100%. You're not getting a paycheck. I mean, you're getting paid to be there. You're riding on coach buses and driving all over hell. It's not like it's some glamorous lifestyle.
Yeah, like it was the Gary Railcats. You probably played against some dudes that I went to college with that tore it up in that league. Will Glenn or Ryan Miller.
Ryan Miller sounds familiar.
Yeah. They were some dudes, man. They played well in affiliated ball and ended up back with the Gary Railcats and tore it up there for quite a while. God, Will Glenn, I'm going to tell all you guys, you don't have to get recruited to a D1 school to have a successful baseball career.
It's true.
Will Glenn came to University of Evansville, which was a Missouri Valley Conference school. We were good. We saw our time hitting top 25s, but we weren't a perennial. Okay. This kid came in, tried out for the team, wasn't recruited out of high school. Came in, smart kid, worked hard, probably one of the hardest workers I've ever seen in my life. He came in, made the team, didn't get to travel or do any of that fun stuff right away. But like, that dude just knew how to work. And he was willing to outwork anybody else in his way. And he went from just being a dude who walked on to a D1 college team, mind you, to having 11 seasons of professional baseball.
That's awesome. That's the story. Like, that's the guys you want on your team. Like,
yeah, you know, and I mean, he was a guy who spent 3 seasons in AAA, 5 seasons in AA. You know,
grinding.
I mean,
yeah. Oh, for sure.
I mean, he played from the time he was 23 all the way until he was 32. Wow. And I mean, to make it even better, you know, we're talking about a guy who didn't even get freaking drafted, man.
Yeah. It's just there's a guy who wants to be on the field. Like, the guy they're going to make you take the jersey off their back for them to be done.
Yeah. Yeah. He got signed that way. He got signed through a tryout camp through Toronto, went to play for Toronto, and went from A-ball all the way up to AAA with them. Damn. You know? And
that's where I think a lot of people take for granted, like,
yeah,
they just think like it just comes easy. Like, some people have to absolutely bust their ass to even get a chance. And some people are just like, whoa, I'll just keep playing. It's like, man, you don't understand the opportunity you're given. Like, it is a rarity to get an opportunity to go play professional baseball. Like, don't take it for granted, because it can be gone in a heartbeat, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely can, man. It's insane how quick things can change, you know? And if you're willing to grind and put in the time and do the work, it can happen in an instant, you know? Yes. And you don't, some of the highest or most highly touted recruited players or highly touted draft picks aren't always the guys who make it.
Nope.
You know,
they've got like that. Don't have a work.
Yeah. They've got this thing called potential.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean they're ever going to hit it or get it.
Nope.
And I mean, that's one of the things that translates over into life after baseball. You know, the guys that I played with that busted their ass day in and day out and got after it are the guys that are very successful to this day in different careers. Yep. The guys who didn't give 2 shits about it and just expected it to come to them naturally because they were a somebody and a so on, shit ain't working for them. Nah. You know,
it's a harsh reality really quick.
It is because, you know, you think you're on top of the world as a first or second round draft pick and everything's going great for you. You've got this money, your life changes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden baseball's gone. And now what do you do?
Yeah. Who are you now without baseball?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to name a name on this one, but there was a guy that I played with in the Pirate system who was a very talented hitter. I can't say he was talented in any other part of baseball, but was a fantastic hitter. The guy could hit a ball a mile, made great contact, had a good idea, good plate presence, always knew what he was doing. As far as fielding, it just wasn't happening. He was like your DH guy, put it that
Liability,
way. Yeah. He got drafted. He grew up in a shitty situation, got drafted, got given a lot of money, played a game, and decided, dude, I got all this money. I'm going to play a shit ton of video games. I'm going to buy every video game system possible. And like his life became video games and hanging out. Eesh. Instead of hitting in the cage and working on his shit. Like
extra work.
Yeah, man. He'd be like one of the last people out there, all that shit. Didn't care.
Yeah.
And
isn't it frustrating to see the talent like it's wasted on
it's unbelievable because like seriously, he could do things with the bat. Like, I mean, he could tell you, hey, this at bat, I'm gonna get up here and no matter where the first pitch is, I'm gonna hit it down the third baseline. Like he'd tell you that walking up to the
bat
plate.
Control, yeah.
Yes, he would tell you that walking up to the plate. Didn't matter where the ball was pitched. Dude did it. And it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch and see. I mean, and to watch that talent get squandered just blows your mind. But, you know, in minor league baseball, you see a lot of that. But at the same point, once baseball was gone and once the money was gone, this poor guy had nothing left. He had no schooling, no background, no nothing. And one of the guys sent me a thing, you know, about a year ago. They had randomly found him, and it didn't end up so well for him.
Right.
You know, I mean, it was the DEA shootout in a abandoned hotel, and I was like, God, this sounds like something out of like Miami Vice or something. You know,
honestly, it's a harsh reality. Quick, if baseball doesn't work out, it's tough. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough transition from career to post career, and it happens because you know you think you're good enough, and then all of a sudden you're not good enough, and now figure out what to do next. It's a really hard because baseball. I mean, for me, I was nine seasons, I think it was. I mean, I played 06, 07, 08, 09, 10, 11, 12, 14. It's like, all right, time to figure out what you're good at post baseball. Like, I know I was good at baseball. I was good at baseball, but you know, what do you do now? Like, what's your next move? And it's like, I think a lot of people struggle with that transition from what am I good at to what am I good at now? You know, and it's like, not everyone can open a baseball facility. Not everyone can give baseball lessons to, you know, continue your stream of revenue, figure out what you're good at now. So it's a slap in the face, and it happens quick, and you got to figure out, and then you got to adjust and, you know, take a hard look, and it's not an easy look in the mirror. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So.
Yeah. And on that note, Tim Evans asks, are you still coaching?
So I give baseball lessons. I help out like with younger age groups. Actually, I'm coaching T-ball with my little guy. He's a 7. He just turned 7.
He just hit a bomb the other day, right?
Yeah, it's like herding cats. I mean, it's a single with 6 errors, I think it was. But yeah, we'll call it.
Dude, it's still his first bomb.
It's a riot though, because it's so funny. These kids are running around like they don't know, you know, initially like what base do I run to, and they're just, you know, they'll hit it and go chase their own ball they hit, and it's like another kid hits it and like 9 kids run to the ball. It's a riot to watch this shit happen. But and it's funny, the first day, like we had our last practice and one kid was crying, I'm just gonna miss you guys. I'm like, it's so funny how kids are so like attached and they just love playing the game, and it's like you know, it's not a job yet for you, but you know, it's funny watching these kids just, you know, initially getting into their first games, and it's pretty fun to watch. It's cute watching these little kids run around and, you know, just learning the fundamentals, learning how to hit and throw and catch and field. And it's great. It's like herding cats.
Oh yeah.
It's, you want to pull your hair out because like, what the hell am I doing? But at the same time, it's like, it's so funny too. So
yeah, no, it's fun, man. I've done all the different ages. I've coached college just like you.
Yeah.
You know, I've done junior college. I've done high school and inner city high school. I've done little kids and doing the beginning baseball classes where it's like 4 and 5 year olds.
I'm going to
tell you.
Yeah, it's gratifying doing the little kids.
The little kids are the best. I would rather do the little kids all day, man.
Yeah. This little kid legitimately started crying because he was sad it was over. I'm like, man, that's like the first kid. I'm like, you're really bummed that it's over. Like, that's pretty cute. Like, you're a nice kid.
Yeah.
It just is. It's fun to see that the kids are so into it that they're like legitimately sad that it's over. So when the season was over for me, I'm like, fuck yeah. All right. Time off. I get to go ice my elbow, shoulder, and get 2 weeks off of throwing before I get back into the off season throwing program now. And these kids are like, I'm just going to miss playing. It's like, you did it for 4 days.
That's awesome. And for any of you guys that are watching, if you haven't smashed the like button or the subscribe button, please go ahead and help the channel out. Smash the subscribe button, hit the like, leave comments in the videos after they're posted. And if any of you are crazy enough to support the channel, I just launched a Patreon channel. Support the channel. It'll help the video quality. It'll help me get away from StreamYard so this stream's not so shitty. And we'll just have a better time. But anyways, back to baseball, back to Matt. So, Matt, what is one thing that you can take away from your baseball playing career that has transitioned into life after baseball, or is a life lesson that you have learned that you would give your son or any players around you?
I would think, for me, I would say kind of just being able to, for my post career, for what I kind of took out of baseball, is I'm in sales now, and specifically medical device sales, and basically being able to go with the flow and kind of being competitive are the two things I took out of baseball that were super important for me. Being super adaptable as a baseball player, you have to, or you got, like you were talking about earlier, you got moved up on the road, or you got traded, or you got, released or moved down or whatever. Being able to just kind of say, all right, kind of learn to take the positives and learn to adapt and kind of readjust and figure out what you're going to do next. But for my son, being a man of your word is huge. It's super important for me. For guys, that I played with and guys I played against, just, what I said for me as a man, taking my word and, saying like, hey, I'll help you do, like, for guys that are getting like traded or whatever, me helping them transition, or me helping, teaching them something, or, going through, something that I did in the off season to help me improve and kind of reiterate. Because during a season, you're competing against the guys in your own team, which is a weird dynamic. But for me, it's, it wasn't just about, me getting better. It's about everybody getting better around me. So, helping people out around you was super important for me. Whether it be pitch grips or, workout routines or conditioning or whatever, for me, it was always, I want to be able to help. And it's not all about you, it's about helping your fellow teammates. And for my son, I hope he grows up and learns to not just help himself, but help others around him. That was always important for me. So I hope he kind of takes that away. And I think he's a sincere kid, which is good. And I think he does mean well, which what I want him to be growing up is just a good kid and a good human being. So
Yeah, for sure. Now, on that note, what's a piece of advice you give anybody that's working on their game, working on their craft, and mom and dad that has a kid who's playing baseball? What's something you would suggest to them to focus on or not focus on in their development right now in today's game?
in my opinion, it's do the little things. Routine is huge for baseball. People get bored so easily. It's in my opinion, I think people don't have the attention span to do it anymore, which is frustrating. But the people with the attention span, it's about, creating a routine. And I gave a couple lessons tonight. It's all about muscle memory, doing the things over and over and over again. The more you do it, the easier it gets. You know what I mean? It's muscle memory. Pitching, hitting, fielding. The more you do it, like when I play with Trout, the kid would take hacks in the cage constantly. Guys that were the best players would take routine ground balls over and over and over again. Guys would take their throwing program seriously. Like guys that wouldn't just throw to throw, they'd throw with a purpose. Guys that would hit in the cage would hit with purpose. It's doing something to reinforce your skill set, every day, not just, well, I sucked at that yesterday. Well, you sucked at it yesterday, so you're good at it today. Like it's not gonna translate. So doing it every single day is super important. I think, it's doing the little things every day, make you the best player. So.
Oh, I agree with you 100% on that. So, one more question here before we wrap up. Baseball time. What does being on time in baseball mean?
Being on time? Are you talking
being
about
on time
as like a hitter, or as like just in general?
Just in general, every day.
Being on time is, my opinion, being on time starts well before practice, starts well before anything. So being on time for me is putting in the work prior to your practice, putting in the weight room time, putting in your shoulder as a pitcher, putting in your rotator cuff time, putting in your throwing time before anything starts. Being on time is just doing the things before you're even seen at a practice, before you're seen on the field. That's being on time to me.
Hell yeah. So when we talk about showing up, coach says to be there at 11 o'clock. What time should you be there?
9:30.
That-a-boy. I love it. It's the truth. Yeah. It's the truth. The guys that are there and willing to put in the work and get after it are the guys that are eating. You're not willing to put in the time and get after it, you're not going to be eating at the end of the day.
If you want to
That's
be
my opinion.
If you want to be a guy, you got to be the guy that's there earlier than everybody and putting in the work and the time.
Hell hey, Kurt, yeah, man.
1%. I don't know if I'm going to die on you here, but I just want to give you a heads up.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was trying to wrap it up, man. But I just want to thank you for taking the time and coming out and taking the time to put our group together, barreled up, and take the time with our pick. I'll definitely have you back on the show, because we're going to have more picks coming out. We'll talk more that way. But everyone that's here, if anybody wants to jump on afterwards, the link's in the chat. Thanks, Matt, for coming out. We appreciate you. And I appreciate all the time you've spent doing all this tonight after your lessons and having a drink with us, man. Appreciate it. Cheers and thank you, Matt.
See you guys. Have a good night.
All right. Take care, brother. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for stopping out tonight for another episode of Big League Bourbon, where we bring you the two best things in America, in my opinion, bourbon and baseball. If you haven't, go below, click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave a comment when the video is posted again, as well as we've launched Patreon for the channel as well. Sign up. Why not? And for everybody else, the link is in the chat if you want to join us afterwards. If not, see you next week at 9:15. I have a special guest coming on, a coach for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who also has his own bourbon and baseball podcast. So be on the lookout for that and check us out next week, Thursday at 9:15 Central Time. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night.